And it looks like we are live. Hello, hello. Good morning, good day, good evening to everyone who is here joining us on the internet. I'm Azujax. My pronouns are he, they, sometimes she, anything really. And I'm here as part of the Roll Plus Justice 48-hour charity stream. I'll be running and facilitating, Glitter Hearts by Greg Leatherman, which is part of the Tabletop Treehouse BLM Black Lives Matter bundle. You can purchase the bundle at tinyurl.com/treehouseblm, and all of the proceeds will go to Black Visions Collective. There's a lot of really cool story games in the bundle. Yeah, would recommend. Good value. To donate during the stream to that cause or others, we have a tinyurl.com/BLM donor card. Or you can split a donation between 70 plus different causes, bail funds, and etc. At tinyurl.com/split70. If you send an email with a screenshot of your donation to rollplusjustice@gmail.com, it will be added to our tracker bar meter that we have displayed on stream, and we will shout it out if you wish to have a shout. That email is rollplusjustice, the 3 words. There's no symbology, it's just rollplusjustice. Yeah, thanks so much for everyone who has been running and playing games so far this weekend, and for everyone who's donated and emailed in about it. We have raised over $1,000, which is pretty cool. Right. I introduced myself. I'm Azujax. I'll be facilitating, which means I'm playing the and my other players joining me here can introduce themselves in any order they wish.
Okay, I'm Weston. He, they pronouns, and yes, you can find me on the internet on Twitter and Instagram at braverun_WLH.
Cool. I'm Fool. Pronouns are they or just anything works. And I'm not on the internet to follow. I will be playing My Marina.
My name is Taya, she, her pronouns. I will be playing Josephine Josie Jones, also known as Argenta, who also uses she, her pronouns. You can find me if you want to try, but you gotta try.
Similarly, it is difficult to find me on the internet, but if you search Azujax, you will find what is mostly me on itch and Twitter, but occasionally my little brother has made use of that moniker for accounts here and there. But it's mostly me. It's mostly mine. All right, so we're going to start by going through, as outlined in the text itself, some of the first session stuff about talking about our characters and the world, and we'll probably take a break after we get that sorted out and then dive into the game.
Okay.
So on our Roll20 screen, I have a image, a screenshot I took of the character, so I can kind of reference that as we talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I will ask you, my players, what have you got right?
Who wants to go first on that?
Yeah, I can go.
Go for it.
Let's see. Okay, yeah, we'll just start from the top. So I'm playing Hanson, also known as Iris. They pronouns. As Iris, it's just they, them. For the stats, physical is 0, emotional is -1, 1, mystic +2, and personas still at 0. Everyday identity is goth. And want me to talk about the moves I chose, or you want me to just go over this stuff?
We can just go over what you chose for now.
Okay,
The
cool.
stats were determined by both your everyday identity and just you choosing stuff.
I got to pick one to add a +1 to. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then my everyday identity is goth. My magical archetype is the tactician, and my mystical connection is sadness.
Oh my.
Good.
Yeah.
Alright, I guess I will go next. I'm playing Maya Marina. Powered name is Estuary. She, her pronouns for both. She's basically just a very supportive surfer girl who isn't in any extracurricular activities, but somehow is always around in the places where those occur, like the locker room, the band room, theater seating, while like people are doing their practicing for plays, etc. She just wants to get by and for everyone to have a good time. Her stats are physical 1, emotional 2, mental 0, mystical 0, and persona -1. She has the clown everyday identity. She is a warrior magical archetype with a dip into defender and has a mystical connection of water. Moves are Fool's Luck, Foolish Heart, an accessory that turns into a weapon, Endure, Flow, and Full Support. I promise I don't just do full stuff in any game ever. This is the one.
Promise, I'm not a dumbass.
I'm on brand once, ever.
Cool. So yeah, like I said, I'm playing Josephine Josie Jones. Her superhero name or magical girl name or whatever you call that is Argenta. Should both use she/her pronouns. As for the stats and classes or whatever, her everyday archetype is most likely to succeed. And her magical archetype is the warrior. Her mystical element, I'm forgetting the exact terminology. It's metal, and her stats are physical 1, mental 0, emotional 0, persona +2, and mystical -1. And she's basically like a straight A student. She goes to every extracurricular activity to get those grades up. She most likes the fencing class. I don't know if they have like fencing as an extracurricular activity in high schools or stuff. I'm just assuming there is at least one place where they do that. So that's how I'm going with that. But yeah, she's very like laid back and charming, and like usually tries to get into the leader role. That's kind of the person she is, and she will help you with your homework if you ask.
I don't think she's gonna have a problem being the leader de facto.
Cool.
No,
So I
I don't think
guess-
so.
Kind of raised for me as part of that is what kind of general sort of age range and setting for this group did you have in mind? Is this like high schoolers or college students or post-college? Or younger or older or something different? Also, traditional schooling doesn't have to exist in this world either.
That's true.
Sure.
Like I said, like I said in the Discord chat earlier, I prepared like a list of stuff. I sketched out some structure in my own notes that I can provide suggestions, but I'm happy to talk about whatever cool possibilities or ideas you guys have.
Yep, that's cool.
So I don't know, how are you, like, where in life were you guys envisioning these characters?
I'm gonna be
That
honest.
was- go
My
on.
response. I'm gonna be honest. Part of the not any extracurricular activities was totally a response to what T had already done,
Yeah.
which kind of made me think high school. But I'm totally cool wherever.
Yeah, I was under the impression it was like a high school thing. Like, I think Josie would be like 17 or 18 at the most. But yeah, I think like a high school setting, as long as we don't get really weird and voyeuristic like all those TV shows, I
Mhm.
think that's cool.
It could almost be fun to do the summer
Summer
after
after.
graduating
Mhm.
Oh,
high
yeah,
school.
that's also fun. I gotta
Which means
agree.
for what we were talking about, we probably like started senior year with all this stuff because I don't know if we settled on it, but we talked about it like a few months into this, but I think that was us. Maybe it was a different game.
There are a lot of games. Yeah,
Yeah.
pre-established, I have written down that at least this group has been working together for a few months doing this magical monster fighting shenanigan stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's like last year of high school is so easy. You might as well throw something in there to make it hard.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so I think we're all like pretty much the same age. Just graduated high school. Yeah, so I think that would be fun. Maybe our graduation ceremony gets interrupted by
By like
Oh,
a killer
man.
clown or something.
I
right.
could see
Yeah,
that being
whatever
part of it.
whatever we fight in this.
Cool. I don't know if you can see anything I'm typing or putting into Roll20. Roll20 is an
Yes, I
enigma.
see.
Okay, neat.
Yeah, you typed supportive surfer swell.
Oh yeah,
And
that
then
was the
from
chat.
Summer after high
Oh
school.
yeah,
I'm not
cool.
seeing
I see
anything
that
on
on the
the
stream.
phone.
I don't know why the big image of the
I
character
see.
sheet
Now,
It's
premise
on the
summer
right.
after high school. Okay, cool.
Gotcha. Yeah.
isn't showing up.
Hmm.
Cool. Thanks, Roll20. Anyways,
So cool.
so it's kind of a representation of that experience that your characters have. I was going to have you all start with 4 heroic achievements, which is what this game system calls advancement points, basically. Did you guys have any questions or ideas of how you wanted to spend those?
I used all mine getting more moves.
Same.
Same.
Okay, cool.
Hell yeah, moves.
That's one of the options.
Moves are
Who
good.
needs to actually succeed at stuff when you can do things?
Right. Yeah. Yep. So I just advanced all that
say-
stuff. It felt
You say
like
have all
a lot.
failures.
It felt pretty expensive to get my stats where I would want them to be.
Mhm.
So I just got a spear and move water and.
Cool. Do you want to talk about those options that you guys picked then?
Oh sure. Yeah, I guess I didn't really talk about my moves in general.
Yeah,
but,
we were going to circle back to those. So, yeah,
yeah,
I'd love
okay.
to hear what you guys chose and why.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'll just kind of run through them real quick. So, with the my everyday identity, which is again the goth, I picked a couple moves from there. One is what's really going on, which is just to kind of glimpse beyond the veil, like what normal people see, what most people can see. And then I also picked, I've got a bad feeling about this, which is just in summary, just kind of, it goes hand in hand with the first one, but you're more attuned to the dark parts of the world. When something bad is happening, I can roll plus mystical, and depending on what I roll, I either can stop it, get there in time to help, or just avoid it.
So Tully is attuned to the darkness.
Yeah. And then for my magical archetype, I chose telepathy, which I thought would be really cool because that basically lets us all communicate with our minds with each other, no matter where we are on the planet. But if we're in a different dimension or in outer space, it doesn't. Or I suppose if we're all in outer space or in different dimensions.
But that would specifically be like you
Yeah.
have access to that move when you're in your magical alternate.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. But
Do you have
so basically,
a conception of
if
what that
we're
is for Tully?
like what it looks like.
Yeah, and within the text, it states that it can be an entirely different persona, or just like a gender-bent version of the character, or with fancy clothing.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
No, I don't yet, because I kind of thought we would want to be on theme with each other. So I figured we'd probably talk about
Team theme
ideas
is
of,
good.
like, yeah, I thought that would be more fun than me just coming up with an idea.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean, I have like vague theme ideas, but they just kind of go along with, so I named my persona Iris because it's kind of like relating to an eye, right? So like being able to see like above, like the technician kind of or tactician kind of idea, and then relating with sadness, like that kind of stuff. So I've just figured I worked both ways. But really, that's all I really have for that. And then just it'll be color wise, have some purples and grays and blacks probably. But I figured our costumes would, or whatever our getup would be all pretty similar, or at least on theme. So I was kind of waiting until we got there. Yeah.
Tully has sight beyond sight. She sounds absurd.
Yeah, and then my other move for my magical archetype is well executed. So when I use the "We can do this together" action, I can upgrade that hero's result to the next level instead of giving the +1 if I want. That's that for that. And then with my mystical connection, I picked a few from there. So I have deep understanding, which is your connection with the harder moments in life makes you more in touch with other people's motivations. You always have a +1 when you try to touch their heart move. Then Heart Piercer, which is just I can manifest a spear. Cool. And then Tears, I have limited control over water. You can liquid that are no more than 5 gallons of fluid. I gain a +1 to checks when I creatively use water in the solution. And that's it. That's me and my moves.
That's totally cool.
Okay.
Fool, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. So for my everyday stuff under the I basically got 2 for each thing. So I've got Fool's Luck, which is if I'm goofing around one time, I'll just get to find something that's important. I'll stumble into something, whatever. And then I also have a Foolish Heart. So if I just kind of like if I just end up in a dangerous situation without thinking about it, I can like get some hold to spend on some benefits to maybe recover from my folly. In terms of my magical identity, my thing from my original thing, the warrior, is an accessory that is also a weapon. I haven't decided what that accessory is yet because we haven't done our magical forms yet, but I'm pretty confident that it will have the returning tag and probably won't do any extra damage.
Neat.
And then my like expensive upgrade was to take which one was it? I think it was Endure. Yeah, Endure from the Defender, because I want to be able to protect people, and that lets me do that competently at all. And then I have the Water Missile connection. I have Flow, which is like a mechanical representation of being easy to get along with and agreeable. So I get a bonus to convincing people, but also I tend to be a target of whatever. And I also took Full Support, which helps me just anyone who's in a cooperative relationship with me gets an extra they get +2 instead of +1 when we can do it together.
Cool.
Just trying to be a friend.
There's a theme here.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, Josie, the everyday archetype is most likely to succeed. Hard work, determination, your own sweat. Her advancements are like natural leader, which is something about you makes people trust you. When you try to convince someone using charm, you gain a +1 to that roll. Driven, your failures only make you stronger. When you fail a persona or emotional roll, you add 1 to your power pool. And this move I took from, God, I forget which archetype I took it from, but it's we are alike, you and I. You can see yourself in everyone and are able to make strong connections with everyone. When you make a touch their hearts roll with plus persona instead. And the other target is the warrior, and I only picked one move from that, which is I'm your opponent. You force the target to fight you and only you. Roll plus persona. On a 12 plus, the target will fight only you. You gain +1 against the target, and you take 1 less damage from the target. On a 10 plus, pick 2 from above. On a 7 to 9, take 1 from the above. On a 6 or less, the target is eager to fight you, and you take 1 more damage from their attacks. The element is metal, and I have 2 things from that, which one is sword. Manifest a sword. Very self-explanatory. Hand, sharp. And unbending, you are strong and rigid in your beliefs. You can choose to roll plus persona to convince someone, and if you succeed, you gain +1 to that roll. That's I don't really know what +1 to that roll means if you already roll, but I can figure it out later. I'm thinking with all the moves about like convincing someone, I think she was in debate club or something like that.
Great. Do that.
Cool. I love it. So then I guess we talked about some sort of summer post-graduation of high school. In the text, it says players and GM should talk about the setting, tone, and theme of the game. So setting we kind of have, and I feel like we're establishing a tone of something a bit more lighthearted, but still there is real danger here. In making these characters, did you have any conceptions of theme or tone?
No. I guess in short, I'm kind of
No
picturing.
is always
I think
a fine answer.
No is my favorite answer.
Yeah. I think it would be fun. Just like this isn't really theme. It's I guess it's a little more setting wise. It might lead into theme. In the sense of I think it could be cool to be on like a smallish like beach town. Just for fun there. To give it a good, I don't know, it makes it almost give it a dreamier kind of feel.
Yeah, I was thinking the tone would be something like fairly lighthearted, maybe also dealing with like I don't know, when you have like transformations and stuff, you're kind of inherently dealing with identity and especially gender and stuff like that. But I don't know how to tackle that in a one shot. It's more of a campaign thing, if anything, but that's kind of what I was thinking of.
Well, there's still things we can think about as we play through this world. But yeah, I feel like that's a theme of just the game and also these characters, but it can also be a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep poking this token, I keep changing options, but apparently it's just going to be visible to
It's just going to be like this.
Yeah.
Oh, I could try this. Let me see if I swap the view. it magically appears in. But that's the last I'm going to mess with. As a follow-up, are there any kind of touchstones in like the physical world or pop culture that you'd want to reference? Like, I mean, when I think smallish, dreamy beach town, like I immediately think of Steven Universe and Beach
I
City.
knew you were gonna say that.
I mean, it's called Beach City. Like,
it's called Beach City. No, I'm not like making fun of it. It's just very funny.
oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I guess, are there any kind of is there any media you want to take inspiration from here or consider as part of this theme or tone?
I mean, can I just say what my character's transformation is like?
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you know it, then yeah.
Well, I
go
forget
for it.
if this happened in Utena, but
Okay.
because I'm forgetting if this happened in Utena. But you know, like the whole thing where Utena pulls out a sword out of Anthe.
Yeah,
Yeah, except Josephine just does it to herself. She's just like pulling a sword out like a clown would pull like napkins out of their nose or something.
Oh wow.
Does
Yeah.
the sword come out of her nose?
No, it's out of her stomach. I'm just like making a comparison with like pulling it out.
Yeah, okay.
Wow,
my
that's
sword
bad out
comes
of
out of my
context.
nose.
Excuse me.
I'm the clown.
Does does she have that
So the
same
sheep
sort
was
of
there for
attitude
2
of a clown pulling a scarf out of their nose? Is it like,
No, that
hey,
would be
look
Maya,
at this
probably.
trick?
Oh, no.
I think Maya, if they did a sequence together, I think Maya would treat it like a clown pulling something out of its nose.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like judging from the character and everything.
Yeah.
I think Josephine's like, she's not serious, but she's not like a fool either, you know? She's just like kind of vaguely cocky, but not too much.
Okay.
I think that's kind of the vibe.
Yeah, cool.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Weston or Fool, did you have any kind of inspirations or touchstones you wanted to call out?
Not particularly.
Yeah, not super duper. My most the like only real touchstone I have for this like kind of media is Power Rangers. So that's kind of where my mind's going with a lot of it.
Cool.
But
I'm not
I
super
can
familiar with
flow
either
anywhere.
Power Rangers or Utena, so feel free to explain things.
That's okay.
Power Rangers, where do you even start with that?
It's too big.
That's what I hear people say about Animorphs. I feel like I'm a step removed from the culture. Anyway, so on this nice little playing the game summary page, the next bullet point is players create their characters. You did it! Wow! Then they introduce their characters to the other players. We've sort of been doing that.
Yeah.
And as part of that,
Yeah.
players decided, I think that's a typo, players decide on the relationship type they have between each character. So there are 3 relationship types with some mechanical considerations. As a couple of playbook moves call out, there's cooperative, competitive, and broken. Broken happens as a result of some fictional positioning affecting the mechanics in that way to cause it to be broken. And it basically causes that person to be... It causes those people to debuff each other when they're in presence. I think it's -1 persona ongoing as long as the relationship is broken. But competitive and cooperative can be determined freely by you guys. So I guess in introducing these characters, what kind of relationships do you think they have with each other? And they can be one-sided. It doesn't have to be mutual.
Okay.
Sure.
Like
Yeah, probably.
Tully could have a competitive relationship with Maya, but Maya could feel the relationship is cooperative going the other way around, as an example.
Interesting. Okay. I guess I didn't say much about who Tully is as a person. I just kind of read their stats. And I guess
Well,
I
tell
don't
me.
know a lot, but what I do know is me find where. Okay. Just as throughout the high school experience, kept themselves to themselves. Is smart, but doesn't like on about it, kind of a thing. So dude, invisible, like you probably wouldn't know if you were in a class or club with them or not, and they like it that way. But on the other hand, can be very brutally honest at times when they think vision calls for it. But yeah, so that's about what I know about them right now.
So what do you think their relationship would be towards Maya and Josie?
Well, let's see.
As
I think
like someone you've been working with for a little while, working and
yeah,
adventuring, monster hunting. I don't know,
yeah,
colleague, friend, teammate thing.
yeah. So I think probably don't really see fully as like a competitively driven person in general. So I think it really is more of a, at least at this point, just the first one. What was that one? The
Cooperative.
cooperative. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, so I think it's just cooperative for both at this time. Yeah.
Nice. I think Josie's relationship with Maya is definitely cooperative. They seem like they could get along at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, yeah, with Tully, I think it might actually be competitive, but like I said, it's still in a friendly way, and I assume that's what it has to be. It's just like, hey, I bet I can take this guy down quicker than you can, or stuff like that.
Yeah,
Always like, I bet you can.
It's all in the framework of friendly,
Yeah, cool.
like on the same side.
I think
The way it's
I think she
described in the text is for a competitive relationship. You strive to best one another. If they
Yeah.
can do it, you can do it better. Each of you drives the other to be better by trying to be the best yourself.
Yeah, and I think she kind of wants Tully to, like, she obviously respects their whole deal, like, but she does want them to, like, consider in, like, certain situations opening up a bit more. But like I said, very respectfully, not like just like, I'm gonna drag you to this party or whatever.
That's good.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, I'm glad
Yeah.
someone made
Sorry,
any
so-
competitive relationship, because cooperative all the way for me.
It seems like
I was
Oh,
worried.
collab.
I was worried I was gonna have to spin a competitive relationship just for the sake of it.
Right.
Cool. So the next point after relationships, if we've got those mostly figured is players decide on their transformation flaw. So I guess we could talk a bit about what transformation is in this setting.
Yeah. Which I think like maybe we should also, as part of that, decide like where our power is coming from, how we were kind of recruited, or whatever, like maybe like a small snippet of like our backs, story.
Yeah.
And like, because that would, you know, we big bad Beetleborgs or,
Yeah, I guess does in making these characters, did anyone have any ideas that we could kind of talk about and sort of toss back and forth? To read a bit from the text. Every group of magical beings switch between their normal and magical selves. While your stats stay the same, every transformation has a drawback. As a group, pick one of the following, and then there's a list of flaws which you can talk about. You have to have an item, the process is noticeable, the process takes a while, and your final form looks exactly like you, and there's no keeping that a secret. And then we decide on kind of the team aesthetic, if like you all have similar masks or are color coded or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess what is this transformation? What were you guys thinking about when you were picking your transformation option?
I guess I think I don't know. I guess I'm of two minds right now. I think like either it'd be cool to kind of like go in almost like the Power Rangers kind of direction of like
Yeah.
they have like their armor and like full mask thing or whatever, and they're like aimed in that way. The other direction I kind of think is cool is like a She-Ra kind of transformation, where they are
Yeah.
actually like physically transformed, and they're like slightly larger versions of themselves or whatever, like how, I mean, they could look completely different, I suppose. And and then like they manifest, like if they have a weapon, like they're just like holding it or whatever after that, they're kind of my initial ideas and pitches.
Cool. That reminds me of, like, I don't know if this should be the costume, but I always think about. I've never watched this show, but I have seen pictures of the second Super Sentai show, and like one of them, like the lead ranger, the lead Sentai guy, whatever, has like this mask, which is like no face, but it's just a rainbow pattern on the helmet, and it's fucking cool as hell. And I think something like that for Josie could kick ass. I'm gonna share it at least in. I'm gonna share it in Discord and the other thing, but it's an incredible costume. The one in the
Oh
center
wow,
here.
yeah, they're like all like different types of cards, and then we
Yeah,
got
and then just a rainbow
rainbow.
because I guess that guy's gay as hell.
Yeah, that's why he gets to lead them. Makes sense.
Exactly. The gayer you are, the more qualified you are to lead. Didn't you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
Wow.
makes sense.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe one
that's
day
fun.
we will figure out how to add this image to Roll20. Just shit. For now, it's a lovely
Oh, no.
white costume with brilliant rainbow
Yeah, I'm
triangular
posting it in the Twitch chat as
slices.
well, so everyone can click.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So do we want to lean more in that direction?
If you feel like it, like I said, I'm mostly just spitballing here, as they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can have as much variance or as little as you like. Like it could be just the character's same physical form, just with kind of a costume, or it can be very, very different.
Personally, I'm leaning more towards it's just the same, but but they have like a new outfit and stuff. Mostly because or at the very least, I think Josie is in that kind of headspace where she is very much fine with the way she is, so she only needs a costume change, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Mhm.
I guess
yeah,
that
I
kind of
also-
leads into like the question of like how we were recruited, like
Yeah.
who's deciding what our costumes are. Like are we, or is like whoever recruited us is like, so wear these.
Also, I think right off the bat, well, right out the bat, I don't think we need a mentor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just saying, I don't think we would want that.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, either we like
Um,
just came upon like something we found a meteorite or something, or we picked up like the magic the magic accessories that sells toys, whatever, that sort of situation. I don't
We
think
got
there's
it from a
problem
dying
with
alien.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, because I guess we can work in either direction, kind of. Like, we can either kind of figure out who or what, like, how we got these abilities and go from that way. Or we could be like, okay, here's the costumes we want. And, like, how does that make sense? You know, like, I guess we can go from
Yeah, I
either
think
direction.
it's framed well. It's on page 29. When you gained your powers, what did you become? How did this newly found power manifest within you? Think about how much choice you had in the matter, and why you became the archetype that you did.
I like the idea that, like, we happened to all of us, like, about the same time, right? Or like
Definitely.
when we were together, you know, because that just like would create that bond for us immediately. Gone through that instead of it being like one of those situations where we have to like figure out that like, oh, that's you, you know, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So for like, I don't know, another quick pitch, I suppose. It could have been like on the way home from one of those parties you dragged me to.
Like I said,
Yeah.
she doesn't drag people to parties. But she don't. She wants.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it's a supportive kind of thing, not like I'm gonna force you to do this.
Right. Yeah. A drag isn't.
Yeah. I'm just imagining chilling on like some beach, and then a fucking meteor shows up, like, and then there's just a glowing rock.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, and we touch it.
Touch the rock.
Touching a glowing rock.
Yeah, it could even be like two of us were at the party, and then you know, someone, and then Tully like was walking by or whatever at the time. Yeah, if we wanted it to be that way. But
Yeah, was like already on the beach. Be fine.
Tully was on the beach looking for like clams or something.
So, upon touching this glowing rock, did that like trigger the transformation, or did that like just activate the power to transform, and it like happened at like a later dramatic moment, or was it in that moment where you like became this alternate self?
I think it's in that moment. I think that would be a really great scene.
Yeah, I think it's something like that. Oh, and also I should just clarify about the transformation stuff. I think this is a bit cheesy, but basically what I'm thinking is like I think you can transform like bodily or whatever, but Josie is okay, basically all of my player characters tend to be transgender, and I think the thing is that she's already gone through the whole process of self-realizing and changing, and it's like, oh, I don't need to do this again. I already figured it out. Basically, what's going on here.
Yeah.
So then, basically, just getting superhero clothes on top of that.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I already went through this whole process, this whole shindig, this whole everything.
It'd be kind of interesting if like, oh no, I don't.
I mean, other characters can have different experiences. That is totally fine.
Sure.
To just
Well, I guess so. This is
I
all
think,
in service of trying to pick what the transformation flaw is. So, like, is this when you figured out that you needed something to transform, whether it was time or an object or?
I mean, I think it's. I was thinking that it's just like obvious. That was the one that I was leaning towards. Was like you.
It's just very obvious and flashy.
Yeah, you know, like whether my body is a different body when it's done, or I'm like wearing this weird costume. It's like I can't do that in a sneaky way, you know, like unless I'm in a room by myself, you know. It's just like not you can hide. That's kind of the direction I was leaning
Yeah, let's go flashy.
Cool. The transformation process is very noticeable and will attract attention if you're not careful.
Seems like it.
Yeah,
Drawback.
that's what I think. You know,
What makes it
the
noticeable?
transformations they
Is
always
it
do
actually
in,
like flashes and glitters and sparkles and things?
There
Or is
has
it
to be an
noise?
explosion in the background.
Big explosion.
Jeez.
A glittery explosion, presumably.
Mhm.
Yeah. Now I'm just thinking about the scene from. I don't think I ever watched this full episode, or maybe I did like 10 years ago or something, of Power Rangers called like Forever Red. And all the Red Rangers are on the moon and they transform, and there's a giant blast of red in the background after they transform. And that was the coolest shit ever.
It's that one.
It's fun.
Great. Okay. Well, I think that sounds good. I think, yeah. So I think it is just like, maybe it's not like an actual like explosion, but there's definitely like a glow that is like pretty bright
Mhm.
around them, individually or together, depending on how close they're standing. Glitter explosion. Give that up. And then and then just like whatever, just like in a lot of the shows where like the glow becomes so intense that you can't like actually like look at the person, and then like when it fades, their appearance is different in whatever way, like they're wearing something different, or like,
Yeah.
whatever we decide there.
Yeah.
Yeah, into it.
Sound cool?
Mhm.
Hell yeah. Then after choosing a transformation flaw, players discuss and create who their magical companion.
Right.
Oh god, magical companions. Fuck.
We each have one? How does that work?
No, it's for the
Do we have
team.
one for
it's
Yeah.
it's termed something different on the actual page.
Mystical creature.
I believe it's page 48.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing that.
Yes,
48.
mystical creature. Magical heroes often don't know what they are meant to be heroes, that they are meant to be heroes, until they meet the mystical creature that informs them of their true path. This creature is often their friend, sidekick, and mentor all in one, or any combination of those ideals. It is often from another world or manifested from the long-hidden magic of this world. The mystical creature often has knowledge about the powers of the heroes and is usually on the side of the heroes. However, while they often want to help, their help may not actually be helpful. Mystical creatures come in all shapes and sizes, and your group should decide what your companion looks like. Are they a talking cat, a teddy bear with wings, a complicated AI on their smartphones, a spirit long forgotten, or a giant head on a computer screen? The mystical creature should match the theme and tone of the game, blah, 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 blah.
Okay,
That's kind of the gist of it.
Okay, I have a pitch too, but you go first.
What if it was a Shiba Inu?
Just a normal Shiba?
Just
Well,
a dog.
maybe he can talk. I'm just saying, but the basic idea is that it's Shiba Inu.
Oh boy.
How does everyone
Okay.
feel about that?
Everyone just has a dog.
No, I mean, just there's one dog.
The one.
and
There's one dog. It's the team dog.
It's the team dog.
Yeah. Okay, so we can match that pitch with my pitch, which is
Thank you for that gift.
so my pitch was that the that we found is an egg. It hatches, and a Shiba Inu comes out.
Shiba Inu
It's
comes out of an egg. I
egg
do
dog.
like that.
Oh no, the egg dog. Man.
Yeah,
Now I
and
gotta
think,
take care of this dog.
I think along with like my telepathic ability, I think that's how the Shiba Inu communicates with us. It's just like and then like to everybody else, it just looks like a dog, Then you like give it looks or are like, no, I'm not gonna. Oh, we just look like.
So was the big
dog.
glowy stone, the glowing rock at the park, the dog egg?
The dog emerged from a rock.
And then
Yeah.
touching it, activate, and hatched this Shiba.
And obviously, it should actually be an alien that just happens to look exactly like a Shiba Inu, and there is no explanation for why that is.
Yeah,
Classic.
for sure. I bet
It's
we
like that
try
Star
to
Trek
ask, and it's
episode.
just like, what do you mean? Like, why would you ask me that?
Definitely the last time I ran Lasers and Feelings, one of the major characters was a Shiba Inu,
Incredible.
who just had a faulty voice communication chip. That was really fun. All right, telepathic Shiba Inu is the mystical creature. Let me write that down.
Egg dog.
Kind of want the dog to be able to like just change colors at will. You know?
Why not?
Just
Easter
for
egg
fun.
dog. Here we go. I'm just kidding.
Does this dog have any accessories? Is there a collar with a name tag? Does it have a cool bandana? Piercings?
I don't think the dog should have piercing.
I don't know. It could have like weird earrings.
What should the dog's name be?
Or tattoos.
Good question.
Names are the hardest.
Yeah, names are the hardest.
I think we ended up having to get the dog a collar after it got caught, you know, like reported and put in the pound, and then
People
used, like,
reported
this
that
magic
this
to
stray
escape,
dog
and
walking
we're like,
around.
Yep.
They're like, oh, hey, no, this is our dog. I swear.
yeah.
His name is Beef or something.
Beef.
God.
I
Is
don't
it
think
a
they should
he?
actually.
It's
I
a
don't
dog.
know. Yes, that's just me automatically blurting stuff out. Don't
Oh,
take that
okay.
as gospel.
Okay. I'm curious
Or-
about the physical traits of this dog, and also if its gender expression, like in your mind telepathically, is one way or the other, if it's totally neutral or androgynous.
Yeah, that's it's a dog. This is hard actually.
You don't like it's totally
I
fine to
haven't,
not
right.
have answers to anything. Just
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
building stuff collaboratively.
Or its name is like completely unpronounceable.
Yeah. I think it tells us its name. We'll get to, or their name. We'll not it, I guess. Their name, and think then afterwards he's just like,
Can we name it?
let me
Cody
call
now?
you Turnip.
Turnip.
Turnip is a great dog name.
Turnip is a good dog name. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
You guys seen?
It's part of its alien characteristics that it has no discernible gender or sex. Is it like, oh, it's just a dog? But
I think
like,
so. I think that's cool.
Let's not get into that.
Yeah.
Hey, it's just a dog. Just a dog.
Turnip. And have you guys seen Infinity Train 2?
I have not.
it's certainly
Okay.
on my list, but I haven't gotten to it yet.
Shoot. Okay. There's so yeah.
I
There's
know there's a corgi.
There's a corgi, but that's in the first one. In the second one, there's a deer.
Oh, is that like the running gag? Like every season, there's a talking animal.
The deer doesn't talk actually, but what it
every
does
season
do,
there's an animal.
yeah, for sure. And
Animals are good.
it can like, it just has like almost like infinite oddball abilities that just show up at the most random times. You know, like it's like, oh, I want that leaf way up there, and like, oh, its neck is stretching. I didn't know it could do that. You know, or like,
Yeah.
oh, now it's 4 stories tall. I didn't know it could do that. Like, I just think it'd be fun if just like it just like has all these abilities that it's just like we never know what they're gonna do. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes it like just like gets us in trouble. It's like, oh, there's a hot dog stand. It just like eats the whole thing or whatever. You know,
Why
we're like,
not?
no.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, That's how it, that's how they get us. Or...
Love it.
Cool.
All right, everyone's happy with turnip. I love it. All right, so that would be the whole first session only check. And we're just short of an hour after going live. How are you?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Cool. How did you feel about a real quick 5-minute breather, and then we come back and get into a bit more chunky gaming mechanics?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Sure.
Cool.
5 minutes.
Okay,
Yeah,
5
let's say
minutes.
7 to keep the clock clean and easy.
Sure.
Or let's try to be back at 5 after.
Okay, cool.
But I'll check in with you
Alright.
in about 5 minutes. Cool. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Thanks, folks, for joining. And I believe we're back and live once more. Woo-hoo. Just going to shout out again that we've raised over $1,500, which is pretty rad. And probably a little bit more than that, because that's just the donations that people have sent in emails about.
Oh, right.
So we have our characters, including Turnip,
The most
Incredible.
important character.
Magical Egg Dog. We have the kind of structure for this setting of a time and a place. Our dreamy, smallish beach town. The summer after you all have graduated high school. So I guess I want to open with a couple of questions of what was the graduation ceremony like, and how do you feel about it? I imagine that our leader, Josie, here, was either an honored sort of student or speaker given her academic achievements.
Well, yeah, I think that's the difficult part, thinking what to do at prom, because my prom was literally just chilling, eating food, and wearing a really really ridiculous t-shirt underneath the suit.
Sorry, not prom, but
Graduation.
like the graduation ceremony. It's like the diplomas and the talking and
Oh, okay, yeah.
all that.
Honestly,
Although we can get into prom if that's
we can
important.
always get into prom. But the graduation ceremony, honestly, I think she kept it pretty short and sweet. Didn't want to pay too much attention to that. She was thinking of probably bigger things at that point. I think is what was going on. But everyone was like, yeah, stuff like that. I think that's what was going on.
So she was kind of distant at the ceremony. It sounds like
Yeah, like
she was
no,
thinking
no.
more about like her duties as this magical other protector.
Yeah, basically.
Did her? I mean, the way you originally wrote about her is that she like was really academically driven. Have grades
Yeah.
just started mattering less to her since
A bit
taking on
like
this role?
I think it's like, like when you have the good first impression and everything, people kind of tend to not care if your standards dip a bit, and I think that's probably been happening to her. Like how she's gonna get into college, that's gonna be a big question. Like, is she gonna move? Because like if it's a small
Does
beach
she
town,
care about college? Yeah.
I think she does still care. It's just it's it's like Spider-Man. He's always worried about like paying rent, and before that he's always worried about grades and stuff, and oh no, I'm late to Mr. Connor's class, he's gonna kill me. I think that's basically what's been going on with her at the moment. So it's just like, and also she's not sure how she's gonna handle this, because like if it's a small beach town, they probably don't have a college.
Yeah, no.
Right.
No.
It's probably not a
Yeah.
campus in this town.
Exactly. So we're assuming this takes place in like fictional America or something, where I do not live, nor in regular America. So I'm just,
I don't think anyone lives in regular America.
Oh,
That is just a fantasy. How was graduation for Telly and Maya?
Maya was definitely the person that like there was like a no, like please wait for everyone to go before you clap, and Maya was definitely like wooing so many people, and definitely wearing flip flops.
Wooing as in seducing, or
No, not
wooing
sorry.
as in
Like shouting
cheering?
out, like
Okay,
cheering people.
cool. They're very different.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean to
I
immediately
suspect
bust
like
it. Just need
That's
clarity.
It's all good.
Yeah, she's very supportive. That as much is clear, and we love her for that.
mhm. I think Tully just like went through the motions of it, you know. Sure, yeah, uh-huh. Right. The hand, you know, the arc, you know, the end of the podium. Like,
Was her, or was their family more enthusiastic, or is that kind of the whole vibe of Tully's clan?
question. I think the family was um situations where like dad's clapping a little too hard. It's like okay, like but the rest of the family is just like yeah, yay, you know. Yeah, I think family thing. I think a lot of bullies
Tully's too cool for
uh
that.
yeah, well, like whatever, like the mystical stuff that kind of exists in the world already, like they've been kind of attuned to it forever.
Mhm.
And I think that's just kind of like affected how they interact with the world. So I think that's like a big part of it.
Do Tully or Maya have plans to move elsewhere at the end of the, either for college or work or otherwise?
Probably commuting to like the nearest like public university situation.
Mm-hmm. Taking the bus over to the next town where the nearest campus is, but still
Yeah.
living with parents.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Staying close to the beach, you know.
Yeah, I think Tully is it is actually moving somewhere to college. It has like already been accepted
Oh,
somewhere.
boy.
I think that's like
What's gonna happen to the team?
yeah. Well, I mean, this is all like newish stuff, so like I suppose it's kind of up in the air, but they have been accepted. You know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all were probably getting like we probably got our letters like at like the day after the meteor happened or before.
Sure.
God, that
Yeah.
would be so fucked up.
Like, oh,
And
how
then
do I even think
Eggdog
about
was there, giving you quests and shit.
that? Right.
Dog
Yeah,
with
who
a
gets to
quest
keep
marker.
Eggdog? Yeah. Cool.
Then I think, yeah, I think we could start maybe a week or two after the graduation ceremony and party and everything, and things have kind of quieted down and slowed down around the town, and some of that kind of anxious, excited energy has burned off, and it's another summer day in our beach town here, which will remain nameless for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, what do your characters do with a slow empty? Do they start by checking in with Turnip, or do your characters have hobbies they tend to? Is Maya just out early hitting the surf?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah. Oh wait, who's taking care of Turnip? Like, is it like that's the main question for me?
I mean, Maya
Does
would
Turnip
certainly
live
volunteer,
with
but it
one
seems
of
like
y'all? Or does Turnip, like,
Autonomous dog.
yeah, walk into
Turnip
different dimensions or
be-
whatever?
But like we don't trust them to not do really weird stuff. So like one of us always is like keeping an eye on them.
So Turnip goes between your 3 houses?
Seems like
I
it.
think so, yeah.
sure.
I think we probably have like a schedule.
The Turnip schedule.
The turnip
Yeah.
sketch.
Up time.
All right, then who is Turnip with on this Sleepy Tuesday in the early days of summer?
Yeah, so I think Polly has Bob working for like I guess like the local like Parks and Rec or whatever, like and does like stuff, at the parks and like the beach and whatever.
Beach cleanup and
Um,
surveys and stuff.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. And I think they're out doing that right now, driving around like the little golf cart, like beach buggy thing, like cleaning up the beach, like looking for trash and whatever. And I think Turnip's just like on the seat next to him and just trolling the beach.
Troll the beach.
Turnip's definitely got some sunglasses on right now.
Cool.
Little hat, straw hat.
Turnip has the hat and sunglasses? Or is that
Uncanny dog.
Tully? Sorry, I
Yeah,
think you
so
cut
I
out
think
a
that's
second.
yeah, Turnip has like a small
Hell
hat.
yeah. Hell yeah.
I mean, appropriate for the size
Are-
of the dog.
Are they riding in Turnips on beach patrol with Tully?
Yeah.
Maya's out in the waves. What's Josie doing on a sleepy Tuesday summer morning?
Sleepy summer Tuesday. I think what's happening is she's like chilling on the bench near the beach, and there's like an ice cream cone in one hand. She's kind of casually eating, and in her other hand is her phone, and she's like texting a cute girl or something.
As
She
one
must-
does.
As one does, as she deserves to. She's gay as all hell. That's I always forget to establish these things because they're just like a given when I'm playing. So that's the problem.
It's totally fine.
Yeah, I think just chilling. Just chilling and Cedar Rapids. Let's not do those references. I'm gonna die.
Chilling and texting. Okay.
Chilling, texting.
What's the... So we determined that Turnip communicates with telepathy. Does that have a range? Do you have to be near Turnip to get that communication? Or are you just all attuned to Turnip wherever you are all the time?
I think it's all the time, just based on my telepathy rules. Like, I think it's like basically have the same kind of ability. In fact, maybe mine really just like comes from Turnip almost. Although I guess mine just kind of links us together in a more direct way, where Turnip can just like is more like of a one-to-one direct communication. Yeah, I bet it's like much anywhere.
So
Yeah.
Tully's brain has the group chat, but from Turnip you get the private conversations. You get the DM.
That's right.
Cool.
A good way to think about it.
then I think Tully, you get a mental DM from Turner asking if this vehicle can go any faster.
Asking if the vehicle what?
If the vehicle can go any faster to feel the wind and the speed.
Yeah, I just like glances down and like smiles and then floors it.
Flooring it in the buggy on the beach. Maya, you can, as you paddle out into the surf, you hear the revving of a buggy, and you see Tully and Turnip with very happy, open, floppy mouth and tongue, zooming along the beach. And this is early in the day, so it's not too crowded, but there are a couple other surfers who find this very amusing. A couple of them pointing and laughing, and another one out in the surf with you.
Mhm.
A
Definitely shouting like "Hell yeah!" but you can't hear it over. over
hell yeah! Yeah. There's probably going to be a noise complaint filed by some disgruntled, grumpy person. But you know, NBD. And I guess I want to ask a bit about the monsters you've already fought, because we've said you have been doing this
Yeah.
for a couple months. What has been, I guess, what was the first kind of mission like for this? Were you friends already, or did you become friends throughout this process?
I think we were a level of friends. I think we all knew who each other were at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably a small graduating class, given it's a small town.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we were like, wasn't any like weird animosity or anything like that. Like maybe we didn't. I don't think totally hung out with a lot of people very often, but would occasionally. I mean, I think, yeah. So I think like low key buds, like enjoyed the company of the other folks, but wasn't necessarily like best friends or whatever.
Have they become closer throughout this process of this burden that they share of transforming in order to access power, in order to keep the community safe?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that was a big bonding experience, though. And just the finding the like touching this rock and everybody transforming all at once. Like I think in just that his mind bonded them in a way.
Yeah, it's like one of those classic bonding experiences from movies. Like if you see a corpse or you find a glowing rock or stuff like that, you just immediately get this bond that is
sharing
unique
an
and
adventure.
unbreakable.
Yeah.
Also,
obviously.
Also, it just meant I was spending more time with Tully than normal, so obviously
Same.
I was gonna be friends. So
Right.
that was for Maya.
Power of friendship. Does anyone hold any strong memories from that first mission, apart from getting your powers? Actually confronting monsters, was that fun, scary? Was it like a big realization? Did it feel right? We know that Tully is kind of attuned to this mysticism already, so maybe they weren't very surprised by this notion? I mean, like, how did that feel for these three people who were just ordinary students to encounter all this other stuff? To be told by a color-changing Shiba Inu to go fight monsters. to use this power?
Excited. Probably
Maya was just like,
a
fuck
little surprised,
yeah,
but
superheroes.
yeah, I don't know if it was maybe a little bit less than that, but yeah, like it's easy for her to see like parts of it as fun.
I
Um,
think for Tully, it was like you mentioned, like we've been seeing this kind of stuff. The kind of stuff I think they end up fighting, they've been seeing forever. And I think they're at first like a little audacious, a little freaked out about it. But then once they realized they actually had the strength and power to like confront it and take it on, that quickly switched into like all right, let's do this kind of a feeling.
Yeah, I think for Josie, it's like, oh, hey, this is another field I have to exceed at, just like algebra and stuff. I think that was that was the way she processed it, basically. So just like
It was
training
another level of thing to like excel at.
exactly that. And I think, well, what kind
It's-
of monsters are we facing? Is this like I said, like a Sentai thing where a lot of them are like stupid, like how like a rapping pumpkin or shit like that, or is it a bit more on the serious side? Like I don't know. I don't think Sailor Moon ever had a rapping pumpkin.
Well, the text is pretty clear that most of the fighting that's done is against what are called minions or underlings.
Yeah.
Wrote down the term. Some underlings,
So the
yes,
putties.
that are just like little mindless blobby things.
Yeah.
The mooks, and that they are often controlled by some sort of simplistic intelligence. It's like a bigger monster, and then there's this hierarchy of independent, intelligent overseers, and like big bad evil power on top of all that. So I imagine after a couple months, you probably had to get into the habit of dealing with these little guys, and I probably had, 2 or 3 big confrontations with big monsters.
Mhm.
What
Yeah.
form they take, I don't know. I think it depends on like what kind of evil that Turnip is declaring you have to confront.
Yeah.
I suspect it's probably like other
You think it's from another world, just like Turnip is?
Aliens.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, whatever that looks like or means. But I think almost like Turnip got sent here to like deal with that,
Yeah.
Just recruited us haphazardly.
Okay, so evil thing is coming to mess with Earth, and something sends out support for Earth in the form of Turnip bestowing power rings, basically.
Yeah.
Cool.
God.
So are we battling like weird ferrets or something?
Ferret monsters.
Oh dear.
I don't know. Kind of funny if it was like some other like small animal that were like, why do we have to fight that? And then it just like starts getting bigger or whatever.
We do have a line on animal violence, but I think we can come up with some sort of
true.
It could be like shadow,
horrifying
like shadowy things.
amalgamation.
Yeah.
Shadowy thing.
Shadow ferrets? Ferret shadows?
Shadow ferrets?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking of like the shadow otters from Sarazanmai, but
I don't know what that is.
I figured. But yeah, it's
I
just
mean, they
literally
could be
just like
shadow
shadow thing
creatures, just
with like red eyes and the vague shape of a of a ferret, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you want to keep it safe, I think it'd just be shadow creatures, like Heartless, but not exactly.
Yeah.
That sounds good. And then we can just
Demon
do whatever
shadow
we want.
creatures that sometimes have the profile of ferrets.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that's great because like that's the kind of thing that other people would maybe see out of the corner of their eye and just ignore. But like always been seeing like relief almost, you know, like their whole life, like just being like, that's not a shadow, guys.
Yeah, I think
Something else.
you might be reminiscing a bit about this because your latest big confrontation with a horde of these shadows and this larger monster that seemed to have some dominion and power over them was just 2 days before graduation. So there was, it was a little stressful with all that happening kind of at once. But now 2 weeks later, you haven't seen or heard any presence of evil whatsoever, and Turnip hasn't had anything to say. Thus far, your experience with these missions has been that you clear out the evil presence, basically, you protect the town, and then Turnip will congratulate you and then give you an estimation for when the next time you might be needed is and what to confront and what to prepare for. But it's almost as if like just as the school year ended, so did you get a break from this role as a protector. And Turnip has been completely quiet, and you haven't felt any presence of the shadows and the darkness that lurk.
You know what they say about the calm before the storm.
Yeah.
Is that how Josie feels about it?
I think so, yeah. Like, she's enjoying the quiet, but she's also very nervous about it. There's definitely a sense of malaise here. And combine that with the, like, genuine, like, early summer is kind of a weird period, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Like, when you get to the middle of it, it's like, okay, this is summer, but early summer is kind of like a mix of things. So I think that's kind of the mood she's in. Like, even when she's texting a cute girl, it's like, oh, can't wait for a monster to attack me. That's gonna be fun.
Oh man. Would she be preparing in any sort of way to fight another monster, or is she just like impatiently waiting for a direct brain message from Turnip?
I think she kind of trains on the regular, even when there's not like a danger. So I think it's something like that.
So she's still keeping up with her fencing, even if grades have kind of lost their appeal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she's continuing definitely.
Cool. How do Tully and Maya feel about this quiet, calm period and potentially moving away in a few months? Or not Maya moving away, but Tully moving away.
Oh, yeah.
But having a lot to deal with starting college.
Yeah, I mean, unsurprisingly, Maya's not really worried about it. Like, it'll come when it comes, and if it doesn't, whatever. It's like very low. Like, doesn't actually believe this, but could be convinced that, like, I don't know, maybe it is cycle in school. Like, maybe school just sucks. I don't know. Maybe there's a connection there. I'm not gonna say it, but
I think just what to think, but I think on the one hand, they're super grateful that I think for the first time they're just not seeing shadow creatures all the time everywhere. I don't think it was like all the time everywhere, but it was frequent enough that they were on edge all the time. And now it's just like big break from that. in addition to the fighting. So I think while they probably appreciate that this probably isn't the end, I think they're really just trying to soak in the. It's just a huge weight off and a huge relief that they're not seeing that stuff at all right now. The team is seeing like a more carefree side of Tully right now than they've ever seen before.
Yeah,
Cool.
I think as you're zooming along with this kind of carefree mindset in the game, you get another brain message from Turnip expressing gratitude for the work you've done so far, and they hope that you're enjoying this time to rest, and that they're very happy they and chose you to be a champion fighting against the shadows.
Oh.
Has Tully tried to tell Turnip that he's planning on heading to college?
I think it's probably come up. Yeah. Or at least that they got accepted, you know, to the school. You know, is not quite sure what they're going to do at this point.
Yeah, I'm not
but they have
sure.
been
I
accepted.
feel like Turnip doesn't totally understand what that means, but is supportive of Tully's future endeavors. I think in the kind of communication that you share, Turnip has said things that imply that they think you'll have this connection going forward for a long time, and that you'll always be accessible. Whether or not that means Turnip might just teleport to you in college and just show up, or if Turnip doesn't understand that you're actually going somewhere is a little unclear.
Yeah. I could see that as like whoever totally like tries to clarify gets like the kind of answer where you don't know if they really understand or not, you know. Like okay, like
Yeah, and at the same time, Maya, you duck under a wave as you're paddling out with your and there's this rush of cold water overhead that just is kind of chilling in a way that feels a little odd. You know this break and these waves and the surf because you've been splashing around in the ocean for your whole life. And you know, this time of day, as the sun's really starting to heat up the water, it should be getting warmer above you instead of colder. And I think the shock of that cold might have you open your eyes for a moment. And it stings a bit underwater, but not terribly. And you see kind of a shifting, shadowy, but the wave passes and you're back above the surface of the water. And things seem normal. Josie, the girl you're texting, has stopped responding partway through the conversation.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I got a bit distracted. Can you repeat that last bits for me?
Yeah, the girl that you were texting as you were hanging has just stopped responding.
Oh.
Whether she's just gone AFK or there's a signal thing.
Oh boy.
Just texts have stopped.
Rip, I think she looks up like, is there something going on here? And maybe, the stupidest thing, but I think one of the ice cream, what do you call them? Scoops? falls
Ice
out
cream
from her
scoops?
cone. You
What?
know what I mean?
No, I don't.
It's not a. Never mind. A bit of her ice cream falls out of her cone. That's what I mean.
She had an ice cream cone? Where was she
Yeah, I
hanging
said
out?
that.
Oh, I missed that somehow.
Yeah, I said like one ice cream in one hand, phone in the other.
Where has she been hanging out? Has she been like out and about, or
I
has
think
this
she's been like chilling on a bench at the near the beach.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Got it. I was picturing her like lounging in bed texting. So my bad.
That's also good, but not. She's
But not
doing
with an
that on
ice
other
cream
days.
cone. Yeah, okay. He's enjoying the late morning, early afternoon sun, ice cream phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then yeah, you also see kind of a shadowy, just sort of darkness pass underwater by out where Maya is paddling. But it just kind of appears and then disappears. Probably you notice this from looking up because the girl you were texting stopped responding. You're like, well, but I
These
don't know.
two things are probably related. Never hurts to connect the dots.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, I think Maya would definitely go into like verify because she's not the type that would like. She's like not like anxious for them to reappear again, so it's not like she's ever gonna think, I'm just like making this up. Out of like nerves or something, she'd be like, is this real? If not, cool, but like I should check.
How's she gonna do that? Is there a move you have in mind, or one of the basic moves? I think I
guess
learned
it would
a
have been a
reference
basic.
with the basic moves.
Yeah, I think
but
it
if you
was-
have a specialty move, obviously I don't necessarily have track of all of those in my brain. So please feel free to call them out.
Nah,
Cool.
not in this situation.
Cool.
So yeah, I guess I'm just kind of like going like towards where I thought I saw it, and like taking some more like risks
Pin
opening
the
my eyes
basic
underwater.
moves in the Discord. I thought I did, but now I'm scrolling around and I don't see it.
I'm pretty sure you posted.
Here we go. I didn't have it pinned, but that's the message. Now it's pinned. That second link is just a short, I think it's a 2-pager PDF, yeah, of just what the basic moves are.
Yep.
So there's two kind of roll and ask questions moves. There's Glimpse the Truth and Be Vigilant. Be Vigilant is for like when you're in a dangerous situation, and Glimpse the Truth is like when you have time to investigate things. So I guess how does Maya feel in this situation? Is she being vigilant because she thinks there's a monster, or is this something that she's trying to test and investigate?
I think it's more the latter, so it's probably more of a glimpse of the truth.
All right. When used when attempting to investigate a situation or place, roll plus mental. On a 10 plus, hold 3. On a 7-9, hold 1. On a 12 plus, oh yeah. One thing I didn't mention that's about the system that's a bit different from Apocalypse World games, which you probably noticed in looking through the moves already. So, as typical, a 6 or lower is a miss, a 7 to 9 is a mixed success, and a 10 plus is a hit or full success. But a lot of moves also have an extra condition for getting a 12 plus, like a great success. So for this one, you would get to ask any question instead of being limited to the ones on the list.
Okay.
Anyways, just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
That is
I
cool.
have 0 mental, so I'm rolling this flat.
All right, flat 2d6.
Flat boy.
Oh, that tracks from what's been happening today.
2 for 2 flat. On a 6 or lower, you uncover a dark truth about yourself, the situation, or another character.
Perfect.
Great way to start the game.
Uh-huh.
I'm into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Oh, you would also mark XP.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I think I'll let you determine what it is, and then I'll tell you what
Okay.
kind of truth she learned. Is it
Mhm.
about yourself? Is it about the situation? Or is it about another character?
I would love it. I would love to find a dark truth about myself. Love it.
There's, well, actually, one more question for you first before
Uh-huh.
I give it to you, but I think I know what it is. How is she investigating this situation? Was she like diving underwater to try and get another look? Was she
Yeah. It was
listening
like
for something?
it was like going like towards the direction and like diving under it for another peek. Yeah.
How deep is she going?
Oh no. Um, not shallow. She'll
Yeah.
she'll go.
I mean, given that you paddled out here, it's probably not a huge drop. I'm imagining it's not like one of those oceanic cliffs that just like immediately transitions to abyssal depths. But you know, it's probably 20 to 30 feet depth out here in wave zone. And while you're down there looking around, you keep thinking you see kind of this big shadowy thing move around, but you just can't quite get focus on it. Maybe he with goggles, you might be able to register something, but it's just it's abstract and moving around.
Yeah.
And you notice also as you're swimming around underwater that you can't feel the pull of your surfboard above you. And you can't feel the pull of the surface at all. You know, diving underwater, humans generally float given that they have sacs of air inside of their bodies. But you're not feeling that. You're just here underwater and it's comfortable and fine, and you don't feel any reason to return. And there's nothing pulling you up and away. But that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
What does Tully do with that feeling?
You mean Maya?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's cool. I just didn't know if we were switching or not.
I am going to be
Yeah.
asking Tully next what happens, but first I need to know
Yeah.
how Maya reacts to this.
Yeah, that's definitely breaching into concern, because like at the very least I don't want to like lose the board. Uh but more than that, definitely more than that. I don't know. I mean, I still hopefully feel the tug of needing to breathe.
Nope, you don't
Not even
feel
that. Oh
any
no.
reason or any
Oh
pull to go to the
no.
surface. It's not like you can breathe
Yeah.
underwater. Well, I don't think you're testing that. Probably
Yeah, I'm
seems
definitely
really
not
weird.
testing that. Yeah,
But you don't feel like the innate pull of your lungs pulling you to the surface to get another breath. You don't feel the need to go catch another breath right now.
Wow.
I think I spend too long just like living in that and still like trying to like look.
You just focus trying to find this thing.
Yeah.
You swim down deeper and you like hit the surface, or not hit the surface. You hit the bottom. It's dark, but not pitch black. You can make out the forms of like it's mostly sand, but there's some rock and some seaweed and kelp growing around. And you see this thing like you're so sure it's a monster, and it's just like ducking in and out and between these rocks or this kelp, and every time you swim up for it, it's not there. It's really frustrating. And Tully, Turnip suddenly sits up in the seat. Their face suddenly becomes intense. That way that dogs do. Like their eyes point directly to where Maya was out surfing. Their ears are up and attentive. And you get a DM expressing that. I keep saying DM. I'm just going to keep saying that. You get a telepathic message expressing that Maya is gone, and Maya's surfboard washes up on the beach.
Wow. Okay.
What do you do?
Does Turnip give me any indication that this is like
Turnip
the
looks
shadows are back or
concerned.
anything like
Turnip doesn't look concerned about things very often. Turnip hasn't mentioned anything about monsters or shadows.
Okay. Yeah, so I think so the surfboard washed up. I think you know what? I think it still makes sense. I think Tully's going to transform into Iris.
All right. So we established that this is very flashy. The flaw to this transformation is that it attracts attention because it is a glittery explosion.
It's
so
true.
what does Tully have to do to like activate that? Is it like a pose? Is it saying something, or does it just happen? Is it like the Steven Universe poofing, where it's just like poof and then new form?
I think is they run over to, I think there's like the old fashioned like changing booths, like on the beach.
Okay.
They run into one of those, but you can still see like the glow and like glitter like coming out of it. But like I think they do.
Where does he park the dune buggy, or does Tully just jump immediately out and run for a stall?
Yeah. I think I think there was one spy, and then but I think like to make the transfer to trigger the transformation, I think I want to say almost like I think it is more just like almost like a Steven University kind of thing. I don't think they have to do like a specific thing. I think they
It just
kind of like
happens.
their
just,
mind
like,
in a certain way.
focus
It's more
on
of
it.
an internal thing.
Yeah.
So then they
Big,
will
glitterly,
transform.
shiny light explosion poofs up out of the.
Right.
Josie, you notice just as you get a text response from that girl. She said that she had to just go AFK real quick because her dog was barking at something.
Yeah.
Oh. Are all dogs aliens?
Just the rest of them are better at hiding it.
God.
It's funny. They're each are just little individual guardians.
I think, yeah. I think I think what happens is Josie first like frantically eats the rest of her ice cream.
Oh God. Brain
And then-
freeze, jaw freeze, or
Brain
Nah.
freeze, absolutely.
oh man.
And then just frantically types out something like, "Hey, sorry, I gotta go. It's like, I have like fucking swimming or something." She's like typing with her thumbs frantically, and then she like shoves her phone in her pocket and goes to the site of the glittery transformation.
Yeah.
It just runs towards it.
You feel your
Yeah, you're
phone
close by,
buzz in response to your hastily, possibly typo-filled text.
Oh, definitely. There's at least one typo.
You feel a pretty quick buzz in response, but it sounds like you're not focused on checking your phone.
I mean, you can always have an explanation later. You can't really unsave the world. You know what I mean? It's like I said, it's a Spider-Man thing once again. It's like, oh, Mary Jane is always, kind of worried and frustrated. Spider-Man's gotta do the right thing. Stuff like that. So yeah, does she
Cool.
run into Tully, or what happens here?
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
what's Tully's next move from
Um,
big glittery sparkly thing exploding up out of this changing stall?
yes.
I think a couple
yeah.
of surfers who are either making their way back out or back in kind of look over, but no one is coming up and approaching you immediately. I think it's pretty casual.
Yeah, I think so Iris strides out of the, I think hurriedly, like actually probably running towards the, I guess now's as good a time as any to describe Iris.
Yeah, tell me about Iris. Tully's
So I think
mystical counterpart.
yeah. So I think Tully is about, I don't know, like 5'9" or something like that. And Iris is like 6.5 feet tall. And
You kind of cut out there, but it sounds like Iris is taller.
That. Oh yeah, Iris is about 6.5 feet tall, and is in like a black, like kind of metal-looking like bodysuit that goes up their neck, and it has like kind of geometric etching on it, and like an eye with a dark purple iris on the chest, wearing a dark purple headband and like around their head, and dark purple like cardigan thing, long, like down to like their where yeah, so they're just running across the beach towards the surfboard, with the goal of like jumping onto the surfboard and like swimming out, and in that same moment, like during that, is connecting to everybody, like getting that group message going, and reaching out to Maya, and trying to connect, like being like, "You okay? Like, what's going on? Like, where are you?" Like, trying to get like.
Yeah, is there a
My ability
feeling
is like they don't like know where they
Iris
are.
associates with that?
You say?
Is there like how does that setting up that group call, that group chat with telepathy? Is there like a feeling, a way that feels, or like a way that she's like reaching out, or is it just kind of instantaneous when she thinks about it, like the transformation? Also, does Iris have different pronouns, or is it actually the same as Tully?
Iris is them.
Iris is the cool. My bad.
Yeah. So I guess I think it just happens during the transformation. I think it's kind of an automatic connection thing. And I want to say for everybody on the team, including Tully, it just feels like I think it feels like a comforting like connection. Like almost like a presence of not being or a feeling of not being alone.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's like invasive in the sense of like they're not like thoughts aren't being shared that you wouldn't want to be. It's not like going deeper than you mean it to be. I mean, I suppose like there could be times where you're trying to convey one thing and you accidentally let something slip in, whatever. Like that would be fun to play with. But in general, like people can't like go searching in your thoughts or whatever. It would be you accidentally letting something slip that you.
Yeah. I don't think it's.
Yeah. So I think in general, it just feels like everybody's like together in this.
Yeah, you're able to make this connection with Maya. With Josie, it's just like it normally is, but with Maya, you get the feeling, but there's this kind of interference for the communication portion. Like you get that same presence of not being alone and being connected, but in terms of like sending a message out, well, I don't know, what do you try to say? But something about it feels like really distant.
Okay. Maybe it feels like sluggish almost.
Yeah. Like the delay time between talking on a voice channel and streaming it and trying to listen to it.
I'm thinking about, when in Discord you try to send a message and it just does not want to send.
It just stays gray or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it turns red, and you keep clicking on it, and nothing happens.
Yeah. That's good.
And eventually, you send like 5 messages at the same time.
Right. That might be
similar
cool.
feeling. It's not like blocked entirely, but you definitely feel this.
Yeah, because it's more intuitive. It's like more like. Yeah.
And same with you, Maya. You feel Iris connecting with you, but there's some distance. And even further, the connection between Maya and Josie is like very, very far.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
At least I'm feeling something.
I can. Part of my ability is that I know where they are. I can keep track of my team anywhere.
Oh yeah, so you know that Maya is deep underwater. And you know that Josie's on the beach, running towards the stall. Or actually, you probably ran right past her. Oh yeah, like when you said you grabbed Maya's surfboard, right? There's definitely another surfer who's like, "Hey, that's Maya's board. You shouldn't take that out. That's kind of rude." Okay, gonna be watching you.
Just definitely ignore,
Oh yeah.
Or I just like wave like as I'm jumping onto it, like it's fine.
Yeah,
I think like people know who we are at this point, like as our personas.
Yeah.
I
think this dude sticks. I mean, you probably know it's a small town, locals. Let's give this dude a name. Everyone loves.
He could be like from like out of town or something. Like he doesn't have to be like a local. That would be kind of funny if he just like is like, what is going on? I don't know, but that person's taking that.
Yep, he's some guy. I think that's even funnier. Yeah, you're like, hey, that's not your board, and dude just like takes up a spot watching you head out. And there are 2 other surfers who come And they're like, oh, hey, whoa, that's Iris. I've never seen Iris paddle out like that. Sweet. No worries, you know. They're pretty cool. Just watch. You'll see. There's probably something cool about to happen. And they're kind of conversing. I'm guessing Josie probably overhears this. He's all in that same general area.
It's just like, Iris? Where? What? Huh?
Yeah, you have the mental connection now.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So you could definitely.
Bring DM time. Where the hell are you?
I think you saw like the glitter. You probably saw me run out of the changing room.
Okay, yeah, I think
I think you can. I think you got eyes on me.
You can see Iris paddling out.
Mm-hmm. I think she first dives into the changing stall as well, like a nearby one, and
similar sort of transformation.
I think it's a very awkward transformation sequence because like pulling out the sword in a cramped space like a changing stall, she has to like wiggle a lot, like, and then it's like oh, and then and like I said, I think her whole getup is very similar to the picture I posted like an hour or so ago.
Okay.
I think it's like, yeah, sort of like a Power Ranger-ish costume.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
The color scheme is a bit different though, in the sense that I think it's God, I can't find the image, which is a big problem. But someone recently, I think they're even following me on Twitter, fucking hell. Someone recently made like an updated version of the trans flag that's not as like garish and a bit ugly. It's like darker colors. I think it's like lavender.
Bit desaturated.
Yeah, desaturated a lot. I think it's lavender and like a deep red. I think that's kind of the scheme she's rocking, and it's like there's like those 3 stripes going down her costume, and the rest is white. And I think her helmet, I think it actually reveals a bit of her face and hair. I think it's not like I don't think it covers up her entire thing. I think that's kind of what. And also she has a cool cape. She has to have a cape.
Dig it. Cool. And we can like communicate like instantaneously, which is nice.
Searched immediately for desaturated trans flag.
Hold on, I'm gonna see if it's that one, but it's no, it's not that. Okay. It's like I said, it's someone like on Twitter made it, and I can't find it right now.
Okay, no worries.
Go to the media tab.
That was just the thing I searched and immediately found.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Yeah, I have strong feelings about the garishness of the pansexual flag and iconography. So I love the concept of desaturated, color-adjusted flags.
Okay, I found it. I'm going to share it in Twitch and the chat. This is by Twitter user Mega Mime Hive, to give proper credit where credit is due. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's the color scheme of Josie's. Does Josie have a different name in this alter? Argenta, yeah.
Yeah. What did you say? Is Josie?
Just was gonna ask what Josie's mystical's form alternate name is, and if Argenta has different pronouns or same.
No, same.
Shooter.
It's all same.
Cool.
I would have put it.
Argenta. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. As you take the form of Argenta, you get a urgent kind of sorry, words translating meaning into sounds.
Yep.
Turnip gets in touch with your mind and says rather dramatically, Argenta, do not get in the ocean. Like, they communicate no matter what you do, don't get in the ocean. If you can... the Turnip lost contact with both Maya and with Iris. And if there's anything you can do to get them out of the water, they need to get out of the water immediately.
Well, what? Did you just expect me to sit here?
I need you to get them out without touching the water.
Well, that's easy. Sure.
And Maya, what are you doing in this moment of swimming around and this thing that you're chasing?
Mm-hmm.
And you feel Iris kind of making this connection to your mind, and you feel their presence, but there's some distance or lag kind of in the connection somehow.
Okay. Before I answer that, I just want to like quick highlight that there is a move to like ask Turnip to be more helpful if anyone at any point wants to do it.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I
right.
should have mentioned that. By establishing the mystical companion, there's a once per session move. Let me read it out real quick. Yeah. Once per session, the team can consult their mystical creature about the current situation. This is a pure chance roll, and stats aren't added to the check. Roll 2d6. On a 12 plus, they know exactly what is happening, and everyone gains 1 point in their power pool. On a 10 plus, their advice is solid, and everyone gains hold 1. This can be spent at any time to add +1 to a roll. On 7 to 9, they aren't sure what is happening, but have your backs. You gain +1 on your next roll based on their encouragement. On a 6 or lower, they fear that everyone is in danger. The GM gains hold 4 that can be used to make your lives more difficult throughout the situation.
Sounds like we should save that move for a bit later.
Yeah, just throwing it out
I
there.
agree.
I certainly shouldn't ask about it.
On
It's
that
good to be
note,
aware of it.
We're just passing our second hour here. How are you guys
Yeah.
feeling? Just want to check in. You guys
I'm feeling
having
okay.
Yeah.
fun?
Yeah.
It's going well.
Yeah.
You want to take a short break? And then
Yeah,
we'll-
I would like a
would be-
quick bathroom break.
Yeah.
Why don't we plan this one for 10 minutes? And
Okay.
we'll be checking in at 20-ish after.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Cool. Thanks everyone for playing along so far. Talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Hello, hello, hello. I believe we are live. Back for the second half of our session with the Glitter Hearts. While this has been going on, we got 2 donation shoutouts to the email. The first one was at 9:10 a.m. right when we started, and I missed it. A $50 donation from Adam to the Bulkit Bail Fund with the message, "Here's for the sharks." Thank you very much, Adam. And at 10:49, wait, these times don't mean anything to people not in my time zone. The first one was like 10 minutes after we went live. This last one was about an hour ago. So that was 1312 donation from Adela to the Owen Sound Emancipation Festival. 1312 to the Owen Sound Emancipation Festival because ACAB is the message. Thank you very much, Adela. ACAB, indeed. All right. I think that's me actually catching up on doing my job here. Back to the game. So, we got Maya deep underwater, following some sort of shadowy thing. It's chill down there, you know, nothing to worry about. Feels pretty much like being underwater, except not needing to breathe. Tully has taken on their form of Iris, and Iris grabbed Maya's surfboard and jumped in the ocean to try and find Maya after urging from Turnip, the telepathic magic dog, that Maya had disappeared suddenly. And then we have Josie, who has taken the form of Argenta, who is about to run in after Iris, but was stopped by Turnip the dog and urged to not touch the water at all and get her comrades out of the ocean.
Oh.
What are you all doing in this situation? What would you like to do next?
I just realized I either am about to or I already did activate one of my moves.
Oh yeah? Cool.
I think I have charged into danger without a plan. Maybe, or I'm about to.
Yeah, sounds like it.
And thus can hold 2 for stuff later.
Oh, okay. That's what that does?
Yeah, that's all. I have activated and now
Cool.
whatever.
Charge into danger without a plan. Now
Yeah.
you have a hold. You're
Oh,
holding
so
on
without
to
a
some
plan,
stuff.
I didn't even realize it.
In character, at least.
Right?
I mean, last I saw, like the shadow, like I feel its connection. It feels weird, and I have not been able to catch the shadow monster that I'm now pretty certain exists. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've been able to get a better like you've definitely seen a thing swimming by, and oh, this isn't just some abstract shape. This is like a monster. I know it, but it's just like, you know, it's fast, and it's speedy, and it's staying out of your reach. But you're able to stay on its tail for now. You're very determined.
Cool. I suppose I'm going to transform now. Just
Transform
one.
underwater.
The flash, maybe it'll give me it'll give me some sort of, the flash itself may give me some kind of advantage and maybe help my teammates pinpoint me. And also, I don't know if it'll help me breathe if I need to, but I don't want to be against a monster without the help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think, so Maya was kind of just wearing basically like a bikini before, and is now, I think the transform look, since everyone's going bodysuits, is also a bodysuit, but probably sleeveless, so it looks kind of more like a wetsuit. And
Cool.
it's not like a full helmet, like mouth is kind of uncovered, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like a belt in the midsection that will end up being my accessory, I think.
And in this form,
Estuary.
the name is Estuary.
Mm-hmm.
And does Estuary have different pronouns?
Nope, still she, her.
All right. Just writing that down. All right. Yeah, I mean, there's a big flash underwater, and the water sparkles and shimmers from above, and you can see that. Iris, you can see it like deep down below, but you know what that means. Josie, you know, can take a good guess. You just see some sparkly stuff underwater. And also, you know, your mental connection, you feel it with Estuary instead of specifically with Maya.
Yeah.
But it still seems very, very far away.
I think.
And I imagine that some sort of lifeguard or patrol, being a local, knowing what you cool people do, what with all the monster battling and stuff, is trying to get everyone else out of the water now.
Great.
Yeah.
And they're yelling on a megaphone to please temporarily come to shore.
Yeah, I think, you know what, Turnip, I love you. I'm gonna dive into the water, and then he just jumps into just jumps dramatically into the sea.
From the beach, so like it's kind of shallow.
Yeah, she wants to look. I think she does end up looking a bit like a dumbass.
It's like a little too shallow to be jumping into it.
Yeah,
like
I get
she
that.
hits her stomach and everything. It's like,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm going.
It's like at the point where you can use your arms at the bottom on the sand, and you're just like pulling yourself out.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you
rainbow person
get back from Turnip. No, please wait. You know, just kind of a pleading for you to stay and talk about it and figure things out. But as soon as your body touches the water, that connection is severed.
Oh, wild. Interesting.
And you're swimming out past, well, you're probably waiting at but the other surfers and stuff are coming back, swimming back in. There's an older dude who's like a body surfer, one of those fitness guys, who's probably retired local, who goes out and swims early in the morning. And as he goes by, he says, "Oh, hey, Arjun, good luck out there." And he like holds up like fist for like some sort of fist bump or high five thing. He just holds up a hand.
Cool. Interesting. No doubt.
Do you return his gesture, or do you just keep
I do
on?
return his gesture. Absolutely.
Cool. I think this local man is named Dennis.
Good for him.
You give Dennis a fist bump, and he's like, "Yeah, right on." And he keeps going by. Yeah. Getting into the water, you feel like you're getting closer to estuary, but again, it just feels so distant, like deep down into the ocean and like on the horizon.
Yeah, I think. Well, no, I was gonna say I would make a move, but there isn't a move here, so never mind.
Okay.
All right.
Estuary, what are you doing now that you have taken your mystical magical form?
I think I'm immediately gonna take off the belt, and now I'm functionally in like a crop top. And the belt kind of like pull it off, and then it like can just like rewrap itself basically, and like turn it basically into like a frisbee. And
Oh, that's the weapon?
yeah, and then I'm gonna try to
Oh, yeah.
throw it underwater at this thing because I'm sure that'll work because I'm magic.
Is this an attack, or is
I
this a
think
different move you're doing here? Is
It's
this like part
it's
of
an attack.
investigating?
I
This
think
is
this
attacking.
is. I think this. Is it investigating? That's actually a good.
Yeah,
What's
I guess, like,
attack?
what's the intention behind using this
Yeah.
weapon? Is it to try and gather more information about the situation, or is it try to, do damage to a monster?
Suffer. Force them to drop. Yeah, it doesn't look like any of these clash things are necessarily what I want. So I think it's more.
Be vigilant.
Yeah.
All right,
Great.
cool. When you're in a dangerous situation, roll plus mental.
D6.
Oof.
That's a roll.
Bad roll, girl.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one better.
I'm getting there. 2
Slowly
more
getting
rolls,
there.
I'll have something.
On 10 plus hold 3, on 7 9 hold 1, on 12 plus you can ask the GM. You act on these answers in a meaningful way, gain +1. There isn't a explicit 6 or lower for this one, but I imagine it's similar to Glimpse the Truth, uncovering a dark truth about yourself, the situation, or another character. Can you describe a bit more about what she's like? If this was a success, what would you have been asking? Like, by throwing this weapon, what is she hoping to learn?
Okay, so the tags for this thing are like returning stun, far and forceful. So I was trying to like get it to slow down so I could get like a better peek at it and also see if like it gets like stunned or whatever at all from it. to like gauge ability and get a better look at it to close the distance.
Cool. All right, you toss your belt chakram, basically. You cast it out into the water, and it zooms along towards this thing. And as it's about to make contact, there's this big cloud of bubbles. And you swim up closer to it, and as the bubbles clear away and float away, you see what looks like the shadowy outline of a massive sea lion, with these piercing, shining red eyes like the other kind of shadow creatures. And it undulates and moves in the water in a more like snake-like fashion, and there's, as with all of the shadow monsters, there's something weird and alien about it that makes it feel not quite right, as if like a bad imitation of life on Earth. And it is holding your weapon right in its mouth, and staring right at you with these red eyes. And you see it kind of shake its head around, which in a seal might be like kind of an amused, sort of playful way. And you realize you can't really see much of anything else. Somehow, in following this thing, you are just in a blue abyss. You're far enough down that you can't see the surface, but you're far enough up that you can't see the bottom of the ocean. And there's no life swimming by, there's no fish, there's no kelp. It's just endless deep blue void you're floating in.
That is that's very disturbing for my
I forget there's like an actual term for like this region of the ocean, but I forget what it is. So we're just gonna call it a blue void. Yeah. Argenta and Irish. Estuary is pretty far out there.
Yeah, how do we find her? Can we like do a move or something? Would it be like
you could try to be investigate. You could try to like dive in underwater, like trace her steps, or you could try something else. You could try to get back out to ask Turnip what's up. You could, you could try. You could try anything, as it is with story games.
Yeah. So my telepathy thing lets me know where they are, and then like with that glitter stuff. So I'm like right above where the light was, I think, and I'm standing on the surfboard now.
You were right above where the light transformation was, like incredibly fast. Estuary was just swimming away and away, like a torpedo just zooming out, and now she's very, very far.
Okay. Yeah. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll my move. What's really going on? We're used to looking for the things that others don't notice. When you glimpse the truth, I can roll plus mystical instead, but I might not like what I see. So that's kind of what I'm gonna do. So,
what's going on?
let's see.
I think it's called the Mesopelagic Zone, also known as the Twilight Zone or the Midwater Zone.
That's not ominous at all.
Okay, I'm just gonna roll the 2d6. Can't remember. What's the command? Oh wait. There it is.
It's backslash.
Yeah, /r space 2d6 plus mental.
Oh, mystical in this case.
Mystical, yeah. Sorry, my bad. So +2 probably.
Come on, let's get a good roll.
It's not a miss. That is a mixed success.
It's not a miss. Yeah.
Can you tell me the name of this move so I can just find it in the book real quick?
Basically, what I'm rolling is Glimpse of the Truth. I can just roll it with Mystical instead.
Oh, okay, cool. Very cool.
So 7 to 9.
What is Iris doing to glimpse the truth in this situation?
Yeah, so I think what this looks like in combination with the Tactician, I think it's like using that telepathy kind of thing. I think it's like reaching out to Estuary in like a stronger way, like focusing more, where like the communication is usually kind of easy. I think they're taking a moment to like reach out in a more purposeful way. I think just to kind of get like a sense of like what's going on with her. And I guess like the question is,
Yeah, there are a couple questions on this list that could get you part of that, I think. So you can just choose one of them.
it's like the most, well, just what new and useful information can I gather? It's so broad, but it's
yeah. What new and useful information can you get through this kind of mental reaching out and kind of focusing to kind of like tune your brain radio onto Estuary? There's this feeling of like you can feel it in like as you focus your attention downward, and even with, you said you're sitting on the surfboard with just your legs dangling beneath the surface. Something about being underwater just has a different translation of space than being on the surface. It's like you feel like with your legs you can reach really, really far. Like it's that feeling of almost being able to touch the bottom of a pool, even though you're out over deep water. And it's something about the way that being underwater is just some sort of confluence of space that means it's not a one-to-one translation of space on the surface.
Wow.
So you can gather that Estuary could feel far and actually be far, but not actually be that far for you to physically reach in terms of the time to get to her, if you were to kind of embrace that improper translation of space.
Gotcha. That's cool.
That's something.
Yeah. Okay. I want to just like set up something and then I can let somebody else go. So I want to kind of use one of my sadness moves, the tears, where I have limited control over water. I can mold and shape it nearby sources of liquid. It says no more than 5 gallons, but I want to use like no more than 5 gallons, if that makes sense, rather than I'm not trying to like shape the whole ocean.
Yeah.
Basically what I want to do is like create like a bubble like around my head. I can breathe a little bit, and then manifest my spear and jump in and start heading towards estuary.
Okay. Argenta, what are you doing as this happens? I assume you're swimming and trying to catch up to Iris.
Yeah,
but then
definitely.
they dive underwater.
Yeah.
You see them like
I c-
shape the water to be like this bubble underneath them, and then press their head underwater, and then they're gone.
I mean, I guess she sees the like weird shapy powers and follows that. Like, oh hey, something's going on. It's probably not just bubbles, if that makes sense.
Mhm. Cool. So you're just swimming, kind
Just
of
swim and following the
get to it.
lead.
Are you staying on the surface or diving underwater?
Oh, diving underwater, definitely.
Okay. Um, yeah, Iris, you have a good view of things because you basically have like a panel of like glass in front of you, like these kind of goggles. It also gives you some air, but yeah, you can see things really clearly. And yeah, everything just feels really close by, including estuary, where you can see what must be just, 3 or 4 strokes ahead of you. And ahead of her is a big shadow monster holding her weapon. And Argenta, you are right up next to Iris with just one kick after diving underwater.
Oh wow.
Well, I mean, the first basic opening move would be to try and kick this thing's ass, I think. Slash that fucker with a sword. On guard, motherfucker. It is a clash.
Has Argenta done any underwater sword?
Probably not. I mean, I don't know how much times he goes underwater. That is the problem. Do you want me to like take a minus or something?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
Because you have increased positioning and effect when you're in your magical form. But it's just something to consider.
That's totally fair. I think I'm just gonna roll basic and then see what happens.
Okay, is this just going to be a clash? You're going to try and
Yeah,
stab
just a
this
clash.
thing?
A 10!
There we
Oh,
go.
wow!
No,
Congratulations.
that is what I'm talking about.
Fight, roll plus physical. On a 7+, you both deal damage to each other. Blah, blah, blah. On a 10+, choose one extra effect. Take +1 forward, or give 1+1 forward, inflict extra harm, suffer less harm. You force them where you want. You force them to drop something they are holding.
So, did you say that the monster is holding Estuary's weapon?
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna force them to drop that. And it says a damage equal to your weapon or your physical stat. I have a sword whose tags are hand and sharp. I don't know how.
Yeah, it should have a rating. Let me double check.
Yeah, totally.
I think it's like your physical and then sharp adds +1 extra damage, maybe, but
That would make sense.
Yes, +1 damage to physical melee clash moves. This is best used to enhance melee type weapons that have range of close or hand.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, so it's 1 additional damage.
Yeah, 2 damage then.
Cool.
And then, how much damage do I take?
Well, so describe to me how Argenta is doing this. Is this just holding the sword straight out in front of her and going in for a stabby stab?
I think it is. I think she just kind of neumes into the monster like poof, like that. Like kind of jabs at her like a fucking speeding bullet or something. I think that's how she does it. If she were in another situation, she'd do like a fancy slash or something. But in this case, I think it's just
Hey, just turn yourself to a torpedo. It's fine.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with a powerful frog-like spring through the water, you dart forward with the sword pointed straight ahead of you and catch this monster right under where it has a grasp of Estuary's weapon. And once it's free of that grasp, Estuary just returns back to you as it would. And you feel your Argenta, you feel your sword make contact with something. It's kind of. I feel like fighting these shadow monsters is a way of like it's not quite like cutting up meat or whatever. It's not like fighting people. It's more like cutting apart cloth, like kind of like a tapestry or a curtain. But in this case, it feels like something is just grabbing your sword and holding it and pushing back against you. And through your sword, you feel this buzzing and vibration. And your hand gets really cold and numb. And you will be taking 3 damage to represent that.
Okay.
Additionally, forgot where I put it, but there's one of those negative effects.
What effect am I taking?
This would be equivalent to enfeebled. Your physical stat takes a -1 on. Your sword hand is just. It's like it's fallen asleep. It's tingling and cold and very painful. And it's hard even to keep your sword up as it just points straight down below you as you're in this endless blue void.
Yeah, that's not that. So it's like sometimes when I fall asleep on my arm, and when I wake up, I can't use it.
Yep.
Basically, yeah.
It's like waking up with your arm asleep and trying to pick up your phone.
Yeah.
Oh, and yeah, this thing, like you definitely got it. Like it seems it recoils in a way, and you hear kind of this pulsing reverberation, like some sort of yell in response. And some shadowfish start coming and swarming to it.
Fun.
And in kind of a spiraling pattern around its waist are just these tiny little shadows of schooling fish. And it's swimming back and forth and just staring at you with these eyes.
Well, is the telepathy communication working now that we're all under the water together?
Oh yeah, now that you are actually physically close to each other, you have your telepathy communication, your group chat, as normal. But you still have no connection to Turnip whatsoever.
Sure. Okay. Okay. See.
Yeah, I think Esther is just like, yes, that was awesome. I'm so glad you guys made it.
Yeah, thanks.
I think as soon as like we're in communication range, checking on Estuary, like, are you okay? Like, obviously, all inside the headspace. You all right?
Yeah, nothing. I haven't gotten hurt yet. I just couldn't catch the dang thing.
Are you? How long has it been since you've taken a breath?
Too long.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Argenta, you don't feel the pull, much like with Maya and Estuary, don't feel the pull to return to the surface. You don't feel
Yeah.
like the pull of floating upwards or needing to take a breath.
Fun. That's interesting. I think first thing she does is turn to Esther and does like a very unconvincing nod and smile because their hand is fucked up still. It's kind of like, hey, nod and a wink and whatever.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we totally got this now.
You got the squad together.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. I think.
Does my emotional support count as a we can do this together? Particularly for blanking on here.
It could.
Yeah, emotional is part of we can do this
Argenta.
together.
Yeah, particularly for Argenta, who just did the stabby.
Did the stabby stab.
Yeah, I guess. Is there anything that you want to be doing to be adding that support?
I think it's like the genuine just very
Like
supportive.
in the text,
hey,
it says
mhm,
under we can do this for the different flavors of we can do this together.
Yeah.
I've got your back is rolling plus physical. You can do this is roll plus emotional. Two heads are better than one is roll plus mental. And supernatural intervention is roll plus mystical.
I think it's more of a you can do this because like I'm spotlighting with like their achievement.
Hell
Or
yeah.
achievement, yeah.
So that would be roll plus emotional to give a stirring speech or lift your friend's spirits.
I can do this. We can do this. Huzzah.
Holy shit, a 12 plus!
Yeah.
Did it?
Oh, yeah. Great success.
I've done the thing.
So this move is one of the few that's affected by the type of relationship that you should. But I think they're all cooperative. Yeah.
Yep, it's cooperative.
So on a 12 plus, your target gains +1 to their next roll, and you and your target add 1 to your power pool.
Okay, so we each get a power pool, like
Yes,
one in
you
power.
each get a power point. I don't think we talked at all about power pools yet.
Yeah.
Which I can go over really quickly. So PowerPoints are a resource that come about from basically this move and from taking damage. You get a point anytime you drop below half health.
Yeah.
I have a
few moves that let me do this.
Yeah, you can spend a point from your pool to get a +1 on any roll. It's like momentum in other games. You can spend 2 points from your pool to gain advantage on your next roll. So you do that before you roll, and you roll 3d6 and keep the heights 2. And if you have collectively points in your pool equal to your party size +1, so in this case it would be 4, one of you can invoke a team attack, which is a super effective team move. Cooperative thing. Yeah. That's PowerPoints. Anyways, yeah, so
also it's a +2 because you have my full support move.
Oh hell
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, I think in that case, I think I'm gonna would like pulling the sword out and getting in a safer place be like a thwart peril.
Yeah, sure. I think that works.
Okay, so I get a +2, which means Yeah, because I have a -1 to physical, then +2, so it's 2d6 +2 now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So acting despite immediate physical danger. Roll plus
Yeah.
physical.
Good roll, Taya.
Hey, here are
Everything's
the
coming up
rolls.
for Genta. I've done. I guess like
Yeah,
she
you
kind of
do what you
dramatically
set out to
pulls
do.
out the sword, and I guess
What
does
are
anything
you pulling it out from?
like the creature?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so you felt this thing grasping and pulling back
Yeah,
and shocking you
yeah,
as these fish started swirling around.
yeah.
And I imagine with the usage of your other hand, you're able to, well, I don't know, you describe it. You set out what you do.
Yeah.
I'll give you narrative authority here.
Yeah, I think like she pulls it out dramatically, like yoinks it out like like some sort of sword in the stone thing, except it's a horrifying sea creature, and just kind of does and like kicks herself off of the thing, so she goes tumbling backwards a bit, like. And I think she's in a safer place now that she's not next to the monster or the little fishies.
Yeah, in freeing yourself from its grasp, you regain feeling and warmth to your hand, and the enfeebled. You're not affected by the enfeebled condition.
Hell
You
yeah,
no longer have contact with this creature.
kicking this thing's ass.
And as you kick back, it kind of swims back a little bit in response, and is now keeping its distance, but still watching you. And more of these kind of silhouettes of fish are swirling around and building around it into a bigger school. Now that there's like a ring around this creature.
Yeah.
Oh, also, you're here in the twilight zone of the ocean, as it were.
Yeah.
Where it's too deep to see the surface and too deep to see the bottom. And there's just nothing around you but blue. But it is getting a little darker.
Sounds like a bad thing.
Yeah, it might be.
Does sound like a bad thing.
Okay. Let's see.
So you're in the void, swimming around. You've got a monster in front of you that seems to be charging up power. And the water is getting a bit darker and duskier.
Does the monster still have estuaries?
No, because
Weapon thing in its
Not a
mouth?
pack. Yeah.
We did. Okay,
because
cool.
Argenta disarmed the monster and your weapon came
Okay,
back
great.
to you.
Okay. Cool. Let's see. I think I want to do also do a we can do this together and kind of and support estuary. I think it is just I want to say supernatural intervention, but it's what it looks like. What that looks like is kind of us just being here as support, but being able to connect through that, through the telepathy and that feeling of togetherness. So, like, I could go in a different way, but I think supernatural works well here.
Telepathic hug.
That
Brain hug.
Brain hug.
and hug. That's great. Yeah. And then I think I can invoke my water bubble as just being able to see things a little bit more clearly, to offer that support, which gives me an additional +1 to that. That sounds good to you.
Yeah, I think that all flies.
I don't. Okay, let's do this then. 9. Okay.
Alright.
Mixed success.
Thing I had those pluses. All right. Let's see. So I have a move called Well Executed Machine, and so when I use We Can Do This Together action, I upgrade that hero's result to the next level instead of just giving a +1.
Oh, nice. So instead of the 7 to 9 zone, it's 10 to 12.
Yeah, so I'm in
like-
danger. I put myself in danger, but yeah. So instead of them adding a +1, just upgrades their level, which is great.
Yeah.
Useful.
But you're in danger.
Yeah.
How? I guess I'm trying to figure out, is there something about doing this that makes you vulnerable in some? Is there anyone that could gain a position over you while you're engaged in this kind of support?
They usually take a deep breath to do this, which is bad underwater.
Let's see. I think probably what it ends up looking like. It's not so much the me getting in danger part. Doesn't come directly from the ability itself. It's more because of like where my focus is for the moment. So I think it's me hand on Estuary's shoulder and just being like, like I'm glad you're safe, but now we gotta finish this thing so we can get to the surface.
Yeah, teamwork.
I think my focus is just like on her. So maybe the monster or one of the fish does something, I don't know. While I'm not focused
I'm
somewhere else.
gonna tuck that one into my back pocket, that you're in a more vulnerable position. But yes.
Okay.
Something you notice as this monster in front of you is kind of swimming back and forth is that as these fish kind of gather in frequency around it and are just spinning these revolutions, it seems like its body is getting thinner as the mass of fish is getting thicker. Almost like there's something being redistributed.
Oh boy.
Oh dear.
And slowly, as the water is getting darker and duskier, there's also a bit of a color shift, almost like the sun is setting, even though you came out here and set out here like late morning, early afternoon. There's just this sensation of underwater, like a sunset. The colors get a bit more muted as the light starts to fade a little bit, and everything takes on a bit of a warmer palette. and you think you can make out what might be the ground below you. But it's
Oh.
dark. You can see, you can
Sweet.
kind of see it fading in.
Huh.
I also want to make sure I think take a moment to hey, you guys have probably noticed already, but a space works here is right now the laws of physics are not working right, but let's use that to our advantage.
Yeah.
Oh
We
yeah.
can get around this thing faster than it feels like we normally could.
Yeah.
Okay, what exactly is the plan then?
Try to surround it. Let's come at it from all sides.
Yeah.
Sure.
Is this fish? Are like the smaller fishes more like a ring or more like a sphere?
Right now, there's still like a ring, like rings around Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
But that ring has been getting thick, so you know it could become
Yeah.
like a big column or tube, or maybe a sphere if it wraps around.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the ground underneath you, or what you think, the dark shapes beneath, they seem to be shifting and turning just a little bit, almost like the ground is moving forward and away from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What kind of move are we doing here? Because this would be a team move, but we don't have the PowerPoints to do a team move. Is the thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's like a move. I think it's just a fictional.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
that's fair. That's fair. I'm just.
I think it's just positioning. For
I mean, yeah, a great way to get those PowerPoints is to take a bunch of damage by
I
clashing.
Think
I think that's
we're
how the
set up
game
for
kind
that
of sets
too.
that up.
Yeah.
But we could also like educate this with a larger role to skip ahead some of the trading blows stuff, or abridge it.
Yeah, that's fair. Like some kind,
Um,
like everyone makes like a clash roll or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to before we do that. I think that's a good idea. I want to roll. I've got a bad feeling about this because I do.
Cool.
So with the ground moving up, which I am afraid is not the ground.
Yeah.
Just to reiterate what this move is, or more attuned to the dark parts of the world when something bad is happening, I can roll plus mystical. On a 10 plus, I knew this was coming and arrived just in time to stop it. On a 7 to 9, you get there just after the event started, unable to prevent it, but with enough time to help. On a miss, you are very late, but at least you're out of danger. We'd have to tweak those a little bit, but I think we can still kind of use it for like whether or not I can figure out what's coming or I know what's coming.
Okay. Yeah, I'm open to that.
That sounds good. And okay. And I've still got my water thing. Is that like a what does that say? Gain plus
Water
1 to
bubble?
checks when you creatively use water in the solution. So I don't know, like if we still want to.
I mean, it gives you a clearer view of
Mhm.
what's below because you don't have to look through salt water just with your eyes. You get like this layer of essentially glass. It's like you have a window. So yeah, I think that could give you a better sense of what the fuck is going on.
All right, I'll take it. Man. Been rolling bad, but I've got those pluses. So, all right. So on 7 to 8 or 7 to 9, I get there just after the event started, unable to prevent it, but with enough time to help. So I think that like probably suits it, pretty well. So like, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Well,
you're able to, with your bad feeling about this and taking a closer look at what's happening below you, you. Well, what was your bad feeling about this? I want to know actually before I. What were you afraid
yeah.
of
So,
finding?
I was afraid of was, I think initially like we're thinking like, oh, like for some reason we're getting closer to the ground. Like that's interesting. Now I'm thinking that's not the ground. That's something way bigger than what we're fighting right now. That was my feeling, or a whole bunch of somethings up underneath us. That's a bad feeling.
Well, good news. It is the ground. Um, how well did Iris? No, how well did Tully do in science classes when she was younger?
That again. I cut out for a second.
How well was Tully doing? Did Tully enjoy science classes when she was young in school?
Oh, yeah. I think
Yeah.
so.
Then I think she has kind of a sinking feeling as she.
I think it's Tully uses they he.
Oh. Yes, you're right.
Yes.
And this is Iris anyway. Just with access to Tully's memories. Thank you for the correction. There's a sinking feeling that kind of takes over Iris as he remembers some of Tully's earlier science classes learning about geology and the Earth. And what you're witnessing is in fact the ground shifting and moving in front of you in a process of the seafloor shifting as continental plates move and are subducted deeper underneath the crust. And you see the fish revolving around this monster faster and faster, and the dark duskiness that had been settling over the ocean just moments later becomes light again, and then dark and light. And here underwater, it's not that space was not matched up correctly to the surface, but time is accelerating much faster.
Oh, God.
And that's a
not good.
pretty bad feeling.
A bad feeling about this, perhaps.
And with that, I would like to take our final little bathroom. We can come back and
we
resolve
got like
the
35
situation.
minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just want to do a quick 5-minute bathroom break, and then with our last half an hour, we will resolve this wacky situation.
Okay.
Cool.
Good.
Back in 5 minutes. Thanks, guys. And we are back for the final climactic moments of Glitter Hearts. So here we are. We have our characters Iris and Estuary and Argenta deep underwater in Twilight Zone of the Ocean, which
In Twilight
is
Town.
where the flow of time is convoluted to their horrible realization that the Earth is moving underneath them, and the lighting is changing in such a way as if the sun was rising and setting rapidly. And upon noticing this, I guess what's your character's reaction to this situation? Is it we gotta beat up that monster really quickly, or oh, we gotta get out of here, or it'll be fine, whatever, we're awesome?
I think we gotta take it down the smart way, because just hitting it doesn't seem to be the optimal solution.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking going turnip might be a good idea at this point.
Someone leave?
I think we lost Discord audio temporarily.
Hold on. Oh, okay. Weird.
I think we're good now.
Cool.
Unless I see otherwise.
I'm
Yeah.
still. You guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I think. Yeah, Fool seems to be having issues.
Oh.
Unfortunate.
I am just gonna use the stream audio. It's fine.
Oh no.
Okay. Weird.
Well, there's a fun time delay there.
It'll be delayed. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties.
We are super sorry about this.
Okay.
Any luck, Fool?
Oh fuck. I don't know where it went.
Well, in the meantime, I could do a bit of narration, I suppose. How would Iris be making contact with Turnip to try to bring them in on this?
I think it's in a similar way to how they tried to get a better handle on their when she was lost.
So it's just kind of like
Concentrating
focusing
and focusing like that. Yeah.
Kind of reaching out mentally.
Yeah, and just directing that.
And this will be going for the unique mystical creature move, presumably? Or did you have something else in mind?
Yeah. Is that just two? Just 2d6 with no modifiers?
Yeah. It's a flat 2d6 roll.
Okay.
Oh no! Well, that's fucked.
Once per session, the team can consult their mystical creature about the current situation. This is a pure chance roll, and stats aren't added to this check. Roll 2d6. On a 6 or lower, they fear that everyone is in danger. The GM gains hold 4 that can be used to make your lives more difficult throughout the session.
Oh.
It was going pretty easy so far. Okay.
Yeah,
so what does this look like?
This looks like you still can't make contact with Turnip. Like, that contact was severed once you touch the water, and there's just nothing coming back. And you see from your previous attempt that actually some of these fish had kind of snuck up around you, these dark little shadows, and you see a couple swim out around behind you and join the ring, circling around this thinning what was a sea lion, but is now thinning out into a more serpentine shape. And it grows thinner and thinner as this ring grows, this sort of scattered shadowy shapes grows thicker, until finally it is just a swirling ball, a sphere of fish just churning in front of you. And as kind of the light above you starts strobing and you see the ground rushing up underneath you and getting shallower and shallower, the fish all disperse suddenly, and you are alone in shallower water. The beach is, or not the beach, sorry, the surface underneath you is shallower and you can see it, and the light returns to what you remember it being. And this seems like where you would have been had you dived underwater earlier when you were surfing this day. And you can feel the waves surge above you, and you can see the surface above you again. And also, for Iris and Estuary, it'd be nice if you could go take a breath, sir.
Yeah, let's do that, I guess.
Swimming up to the surface?
At least take a
Seems we
peek.
might have fucked up.
Yeah, at least take a peek at what's up there now.
Yeah.
It's a long swim to the surface. It feels far away, and you feel like you really need to breathe. But you rush up first above the ocean's waves, take in a deep, gasping breath, and you are where you would expect to be. Yeah, the beach is out there in front of you. There are some surfers who are watching from the shoreline. You don't see you don't see the little golf cart dune buggy thing for driving around. And you don't see Turnip. But otherwise, things seem normal here.
Oh no.
Guess what just happened?
I think, hold on. Does anyone want to glimpse the truth here?
I don't know, do you?
Oh, hold on. Sorry, I
Wild
just did
things
hear
are
something.
happening.
Oh, thank Christ. Sorry, I was worried about my cat.
No worries.
Well,
Fool, are you back caught up with us again?
yeah.
Lovely.
The fish disappeared. The ground is up.
Mhm.
And I caught the back end of trying to talk to Turnip, and the connection is that connection just still gone now that we're on the surface?
Still
I'm assuming.
nothing.
Great, good.
Yeah.
I'm caught up then.
Yep, that's about it.
Yeah, that was a totally in character. Like that, my what happened
Okay.
next is definitely in character.
Yeah.
Hoping one of you two are smarter than me.
Yeah, I think. Well, unless anyone else has an idea, I think Argenta is gonna swim up to the surface to try to like take a look at things.
Yeah,
Which I
that's
think is gonna
definitely
be a
where we're
roll.
at.
That's a flat 2d6 for glimpsing the truth because my mental is 0.
Okay.
Let me just check if it. Yeah, it's 0. So let's just do that.
Can we just be doing that together, I guess? And two heads are better than one?
If you want to support, then yeah.
Yeah, not that I'm any better at mental, but
I gave, I guess it was estuary. I gave a
that's true. He did give me a
level bump to
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
a while ago.
Um, well, I guess I'll just roll the support real quick. 2d6. Okay, well, it's a crit then on supporting.
Oh, hell yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so that's a 2d6 plus 1.
Plus 2.
Plus 2?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you get plus 2 because we're cooperative.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool. Then,
And a power
Best
point.
buds.
a 7.
And power points. Woohoo.
Yeah, you could spend some power points to bump that
To
up.
do-
You would need 3 to get it to a 10.
Oof.
Yeah, well, obviously I have one question, and it's, what happened here recently? Like, how is Turnip gone? Things like that. Can I glimpse that from, like, just taking a look at the beach?
This is Argenta swimming out onto shore,
Yes.
and then walking out of the water. Does she stay as
For now.
Argenta?
Yeah.
Okay. This is this costumed figure coming out of the ocean.
Yes.
As a couple other surfers in the morning, late morning light, are looking at you. And one of them, who seems a bit familiar, says, new costume change there, huh, Argent? Looks good. What make you wanted to change up your style like that?
What? What are you talking about?
These colors, they're kind of retro, right? And you can see this man reminds you of Dennis.
Oh no.
Oh? Wait, do I know what... Okay. How much time has passed?
I think
Good
Iris
question.
just sighs. I was afraid of this.
And you hear some barking in the distance, and you see the familiar form of a Shiba Inu running out onto the beach. And in your mind, you hear, how did this happen? Why were you in the water? And up running behind them, you see 3 kind of cool, flashy looking suited people running after Turnip, who seem like they could have similar powers as to what you have.
I just wanted to help my friends. I'm sorry. And I think she falls on her knees. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
we're
Despair
all there
moment.
on the beach, right?
Yeah.
Point. I think
Yeah.
Iris walks up behind and then just like puts his hand on her shoulder. Just looks at Turnip. Thinks, like, what year is it?
Oh boy, we didn't establish whatever year it was in fiction at the time.
I think it's 2020. Let's say it's contemporary
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
easiness.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, Turnip gives you a response of 4 years later. And coming up behind him, or them, jogging behind them, one of these tall suited figures. There's a shimmer and sparkles that dance down as they fade away. And you see what looks like a weird, distorted reflection of Josie standing in front of you. And
What?
she comments, "Oh, that's pretty. It's pretty weird, huh? You're not from around here, huh?"
I'm.
Whoa, did you guys graduate
Oh,
college already
Christ.
then?
I think it's all a mess. It's all a mess. God.
Turnip trots up to you and wiggles their head under your arm and like nuzzles into you like a good dog friend. And in your mind, you can just hear that you have been shifted, but it's not something that's impossible to deal with. The ocean is incredibly, incredibly dangerous.
Yeah, it is. It
Apparently.
is.
And as the rest of you are gathering on the beach, you see what appear to be counterparts to yourselves, but having aged a little bit more. Couple new scars and new piercings. Bit of a new style.
Yeah.
But it's definitely you.
It's definitely us.
Mm-hmm.
God, I just have the perfect ending scene in mind now for Josie.
All right.
Oh, no.
But I don't know how everyone else feels.
Yeah, given that we're just about at the end of our time slot, how do you want to do a conclusion scene for encountering your potentially future alternate selves after they've gone off to college?
Yeah, does anyone else have any ideas? Because I think mine would work really well for last, is the thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna, yeah.
And you don't need to have like a specific epilogue scene, but I mean, how would your character wrap this up if this was dramatic cliffhanger of like mid-season 2 episode?
God, it would be though, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I think for Lee slash Paris, I think they would walk up to their alternate self, and with the mind connection, with the telepathy, and see if they connect.
Yeah, it's kind of, in a way, a bit overwhelming. It's kind of louder and clearer. The thoughts and things come through with more intensity than you're used to. So I think it's a little startling. But yeah, that connection is definitely established.
Yeah. I think with that intensity, I think they pull back for a second and then say out loud, going on. Have you been doing? You go to college? What did we decide to do?
I guess your counterpart crosses their arms and kind of sighs a little bit. Yeah, I was accepted into a nice school, and I've been working pretty hard. I'm just finishing my undergraduate program, but this is like a 3D version of a shitty social media callback. This is so, oh man, this is just awkward for me, but this must be like hella weird for you. I'm sorry. College is rad, although I don't know what's up with alternate timelines. But yeah, I think we can figure something out.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think probably like if alternate Iris is up for it, I think they like go and like go somewhere else, and just like let's figure this out,
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure out like how much of their lives like overlapped and then this what it looks like going forward.
Mm-hmm. You get on well with your counterpart.
I think so. It's like a curiosity, but also like they both like know what the other one's gone through way better than
Mhm.
anybody else, and like most people don't understand it, so they just off together.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think it's like a welcome kind of thing, at least at first, knows what that would develop into, but I think it's a nice like action. Yeah.
How about estuary?
Probably tries to go this like pretty much the same as I prompted, like, yo, like, how was like, so you graduated already? What's up with that? And like, just that sort of
No, I
stuff.
didn't graduate yet.
Yeah,
Kind of
think
took
so.
a gap year in there. Freshman year really sucked. But maybe I can help you out if we can get you back.
Yeah.
If not, though, I can definitely recommend transferring somewhere else. Although, like, there might be a weird thing with like identities. Yeah, you probably shouldn't stay here. It's gonna get like hella awkward.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
You think
cool.
point at the
But
other two
yeah,
and
you
like,
can
you think they can
crash
help?
at my place tonight for sure.
Yeah.
And we'll sort this out with the doggo here.
And I think there is a little bit of awkwardness between us because I think alternate Maya has moved on to skateboarding. And
Perfect.
it's a slightly different culture and it's weird, man.
So good.
Not a surfer anymore, but a skater.
She was a skater girl.
All right, then how about for what's our final shot of Argenta?
Okay, so I think I have two things in mind. First is I think she walks up to Josie and is like, "Well, there's a lot going on here, but first question, how'd it go with the girl?"
I mean, this is kind of. I mean, it feels like. Ah, jeez. How about I just say good? It was.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, good.
Don't worry.
Fun.
Cool.
I don't want to like set expectations.
That's fair. And I think she kind of hugs her and just kind of sighs. And then we cut to like a shot of Josie at her like desk, and she's reading a lot of books about three things. One of them is about like deep sea shit, unexplored things in the sea, stuff like that. Some are about the flow of time, like theoretical physics, stuff like that. And yeah, another one is about like alternate universes, etc., etc. And later she's like fixing like a doodad, lots of welding stuff like that. I think that's what happens. I think it's obvious what she's trying to do here in case anyone hasn't figured it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Blow up the multiverse.
Oh, I was thinking like a time machine.
Yeah, time
Yeah.
machine.
Listen, she's always been the most determined one, I think. So I think it makes
Oh,
sense
yeah.
for her.
I think
Yeah.
other Josie is super down to help out with the time machine. And yeah, and that's the end of our time slot. I think that's a pretty
Exactly 10
fun
p.m.
conclusion to this session that could spiral out in all sorts of ways.
Yeah.
Thank you for playing. That was a one-shot of Glitter Hearts by Greg Leatherman. Azujax, he, him. This is part of the Roll Plus Justice, Black Lives Matter stream. Tiny URLs in the chat for donating. Thank you to Lofty for being our stream host. And thank you to Fool and T and Weston for being cool players. I hope you guys had fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
that was
you.
great. Yeah, thanks everybody.
That was oof.
Thanks, Azujax, for putting that on.
Yeah, yeah, that was cool. That was fun.
That was a lot.
Hopefully not too much. Just the right amount of a lot.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Oh yeah.
bye people.
Sure.
Thanks for tuning
See
in.
you.
Next up is it's tendencies. Right. Oh shit. Tendencies is great. Stick around
Get
for
your stands
tendencies.
ready.
Yeah. Holy shit, it's a JoJo reference. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.